Test, test. Test, test. Seconds for that. I'm pretty sure it'll be all good. Yeah, so yeah, it was the biggest little team to be out. They say you can't wear white after Labor Day, so the city of Cincinnati is cutting it close. Here at Nipper Stadium, near a crowd of 40,000 wearing all white on this final day of August, college football is back. A pair of second-year head coaches get ready for battle as Pete Shinnick's squad of the Towson Tigers get ready to take on Scott Satterfield's boys and the Cincinnati Bearcats here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I'm Chase Johns alongside my broadcast partner, Christian Pagan. The Cincinnati Bearcats are coming up a 3-9 season in their inaugural Big 12 year in 2023. They have a new quarterback in Brendan Sorsby, the transfer from Indiana.
Yes, Sorsby. He had 7 starts at IU, threw for over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. I really like him as a quarterback. And on the rushing side, too, he's kind of a dual threat. Nearly 300 rushing yards, and I think he's going to fit perfect for the Bearcats.
Speaking of the run game, you have Corey Kiner back there, 1,000-yard rusher from Cincinnati, Ohio, 5 touchdowns last season. What's the key for him today?
Him just find the lanes, let his O-line do the work. This O-line for the Bearcats return every starter. So look at right guard Luke Kandra, preseason All-American. Just follow your line and trust, and then to make the proper blocks, and he's going to have a fine day today.
On the flip side, Tyson Veit comes over from Iowa State. He was a linebackers coach for nearly 7 or 8 years over there. And Veit bringing that 3-3-5 scheme. We were here last year when Iowa State gave Cincinnati problems. How excited are you to see Veit?
I'm very excited to see him for the red and black Bearcats. As you mentioned, we were on the call for the Iowa State game, and we were like, what is this 3-3-5 defense? And it worked so well. Just a few stats. When he was with the Cyclones, he led the Big 12 from 2016 to 2023 in several categories, including scoring defense, total defense, yards per play allowed, rushing yards allowed, and yards per carry allowed.
So it'll be very exciting to see the new defense, but without the Godfather, Dante Corleone, who was out today, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was warming up, but around the end of warm-ups, we noticed that he was not dressed. It's going to be a big impact for the Bearcats. You got to look at Kamari Burns either to step up for the Bearcats at that nose tackle slot. But, you know, he was listed as day-to-day throughout the week, so maybe we'll see him next week versus Pitt.
Again, it'll be a big game next week between those two teams a week from today. On the flip side, Towson, they have a quarterback question to answer. Is it Nathan Kent or Carlos Davis? We were out there watching. We're not sure ourselves.
We think it might be Carlos Davis, but we'll see. We probably end up seeing both of them today. But Carlos Davis, the transfer from UMass, he only played in 4 games last season, threw 6 touchdowns, 886 yards. We'll see if it's him or Nathan Kent.
And then looking at the run game, Devin Matthews, he had 147 attempts for 654 yards on the ground and 9 touchdowns last year. Big key for Towson winning this game is going to be him.
Yes, and as you mentioned, you got to win the line of scrimmage. Without Dante Corleone for the Bearcats, does the Towson O-line have an advantage here with Devin Matthews, who has 23 career touchdowns? We'll see. It's going to be a good battle in the trenches.
The defensive line, we talk about the trenches. The edge rushers for this Towson team are 2 very good ones in Ernie Smith and Deion Cruz-Harris.
Yeah, that's D-line had 29 sacks last season, which was 3rd best in the CAA. If they can create pressure against the Bearcats O-line, which is very tough, we could have a nice matchup in tonight.
Looking at these head coaches, Pete Shinnick, his 2nd year as the head man at Towson. He's the son of Baltimore Colts linebacker Don Shinnick, who has the most career interceptions for a linebacker in NFL history. Scott Satterfield here, his 2nd year with the Cats. 3-9 last season, trying to go off to a 1-0 start. Bearcats haven't lost a home opener in over 20 years. Towson will tee it away. Keegan Vaughn will kick off. Back deep to return will be Logan Wilson, the transfer from North Texas.
I just want to say right here, baby, we're back.
It's the Tigers. It's the Cats. Kickoff underway. And it's fair caught.
It's like Joe Royer right there.
Joe Royer getting involved. Fair caught. It'll be placed at the 25-yard line, and new quarterback Brendan Sorsby will get an opportunity.
Yeah, we're very excited to see him play. And what was very important, he said, was to get a hot start and just to find ways to stack plays together. And if they can get off to a hot start right here and set the tone for the match, that confidence level for not only Sorsby but the team goes up, 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 up.
Here the Bearcats, tight end to the left, a wing to the right. 2 receivers out wide. Sorsby calls a man in motion. Pop pass to Barry Jackson Jr. Jackson trying to ride his blockers to the far side of the field and gains 4.
Barry Jackson, redshirt freshman, had some action last season on the jet sweep right there. It looked like it would have been kind of a gain of 0, but he still maneuvered outside, followed his block, and he cut outside and got a couple yards out of it.
Speed is key with Barry Jackson. That's the case.
Oh, yeah.
Personnel change here. Xavier Henderson out to the right of Sorsby. Jamoy Mays out to the left. Kiner directly behind Sorsby. A motion from Royer. Give to Kiner. Kiner sifting through, gets the extra effort, and will move the sticks for a first down.
Yeah, right there. We just talked about it. Trusting his O-line. And the O-line right there made a lot of great blocks and opened up a lot of lanes for Corey Kiner to go to work, who was eighth in the conference in rushing yards last season, the Big 12. And he had over 1,000 yards.
And the Big 12 is full of a lot of great backs, to say the least. Spread formation, 2 receivers to the left of Sorsby, 2 to the right. Kiner at the left hip of Sorsby in the gun. Motion from Aaron Turner. Sorsby will pull it, and he'll throw to Turner on the left side. Turner breaks a tackle. Turner is off to the races. Can he beat the charge? And he'll get out at around the 17-yard line. Out in the flat, and Aaron Turner turns on the burners.
And right there, great blocks by the wide receiver that open up the lane for Aaron Turner. And we mentioned it, getting off to a quick start to improve that confidence. Sorsby and the Bearcats just do that. They have it at the 16 now. Big play.
Turner had 11 catches for only 89 yards last year. Didn't play a whole lot for UConn. Spent 3 seasons there. And now the Bearcats will be in the trips right formation with Kiner directly behind Sorsby. A motion sent from Francis Sherman from left to right. Sorsby the give to Kiner. Kiner gets through and gets about 3 yards. Was tackled by what looks like big 97 Journey Dunbar.
Now, right there, the O-line made their blocks. There was a lane, but kind of just hit it a little too late. If he was there a second earlier, he could be in for the touchdown.
Again, getting Kiner involved and getting his feet wet will be a big thing going forward. Sorsby's in the gun. Chance Williams, the Grambling State transfer in. Royer, the wing to the left, 2 receivers up top, 1 receiver to the bottom. Sorsby, quick throw, screen for Xavier Henderson. And Henderson will get stopped up, and he'll lose about a yard on that one as a pack of Tigers get after him.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Royer is out there. Alongside him was Barry Jackson. They just couldn't block the defensive backs of Towson, which allowed them to blow up that play.
It'd be the first 3rd down. The Bearcats would have to try to convert. It's 3rd and 5 at the Towson 11. Shifting. Here's 2 receivers at the bottom, Henderson and Smith now on the slot. They check at the line of scrimmage. Jamoy Mays out wide right. Chance Williams directly behind Sorsby. Sorsby will drop back. Sorsby, a lot of time, over the middle, caught by Mays. Good enough for a first down inside the 5-yard line, down to the 2.
Right there, Sorsby, great job making his read, scanning the field from left to right, and he found Jamoy Mays over the middle. I thought personally he could have had Tyron Smith on a corner route in the end zone, but it's all right. Bearcats have it inside the 5.
Sorsby completing the first 3 passes of his Bearcats career. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Sorsby will be in the empty backfield, 2 receivers to his left and 3 out wide to his right.
Maybe a QB keeper right here?
The man can run, and we will see what happens here. You called it, Chris, and it's a touchdown for Brendan Sorsby, starting off his era. Pretty smooth.
Welcome to Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby. I mean, what a great drive to start the game off and for the Bearcats. Bet you that'll ease the nerves a little bit for him.
It definitely will. It was a 7-play, 75-yard scoring drive that took 3 minutes and 43 seconds, capped off by the new quarterback, Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, he had 4 rushing touchdowns last year for the Hoosiers, so he can run. He's capable of doing it. He just showed us right there.
Carter Brown will attempt the PAT. Snap, hold, kick, up and down Broadway.
Great start for the Bearcats. 7-play drive to get things going. This offense, they got a lot of new pieces, and Sorsby being on them, he's really exciting to see.
They talked about Sorsby wanting to do a lot of play action, a lot of play fakes, development. He looked really good on that drive.
He really did. Stayed composed, and as I mentioned, maybe a few nerves, but on that drive, they have to be eased away.
And again, getting Aaron Turner out in space was the big thing. Pitch and catch, off to the races.
Yeah, that was a big play right there. I don't want to look back, see how many yards it was, but overall, I got the Bearcats in the red zone. It was a great play design for the Cats.
It's going to put the pressure early on Towson, as we will see who their quarterback's going to be. It's going to be Carlos Davis or last year's starting quarterback, Nathan Kent. Towson, they have a lot of depth at receiver, just they haven't seen the field as much as we would think.
Yeah, there's some few notable names. John Dunmore, the transfer from Oregon State. C. Trozen, transfer from TCU. Jason Doss from Fresno State. That's D1 schools, Power 5 schools right there besides Fresno State. But as you mentioned, they didn't get the experience. They didn't have the opportunities, and they'll find out right here for the Tigers.
This is the first meeting between these two teams in history. The last time that Towson came to the state of Ohio was 2012. I believe that was a loss to Kent State.
Yeah, in 2012, I was 8 years old.
I was 9. Well, the ones that are listening, maybe it shows the age. We don't know.
Times have changed.
They definitely have.
Here's a fun fact. Its lone win in the state of Ohio was a 21-15 victory at Ashland in 1979.
Wow.
They're 1-6 in Ohio.
They started off strong, and things haven't been the way they expected. People rat on Ohio. I don't know why.
They don't. But here's the thing, though. This is the 50th anniversary of Towson's undefeated 1974 team, which they went 10-0.
History in the making, possibly.
Hey, and also here, 100 years at Nippert Stadium.
They'll have a dedication later on in the season when they play West Virginia. The Bearcats of West Virginia will face off against each other on November the 9th. TBD on who's calling the game, but got to get through this one first.
Another note to stand out for the Towson O-line, they only gave up 15 sacks last season. Second best in the CAA. You look at the Bearcats D-line, they've only created 21 sacks. It's 11th in the Big 12, so a matchup, kind of want to see, can the Bearcats take advantage of it? Can they win it? But without Dante Corleone, it could be pretty tough.
It definitely will be. So whoever the quarterback is, trying to keep them upright will be key. Towson's offensive coordinator, looking at Brian Shepard, the second-year offensive coordinator, was at Stetson, has a track record of making FCS quarterbacks develop and become really good players.
Yeah, and another player to look out for, Towson, tight end Carter Runyon. He's going to be a problem. If he can get rolling for the Tigers, look out for the Bearcats.
The preseason FCS All-American, one of the first in Towson history. Nathan Hawks will tee it up at the 35-yard line to kick it away.
I'm just looking at the sideline. It looks like it's going to be Carlos Davis. He has his helmet on. He's ready to come out after this kickoff.
Devin Matthews, Christopher Watkins back deep to return. Hawks boots it away. Fair caught. And actually dropped it in the end zone. And kneeled. It will be a touchback.
Looks like he lost his awareness there. If he's going to fair catch and he's in the end zone, just let the ball go out of bounds. But
and to mention, that's their starting running back that's back there taking kicks. Oof, he's got a lot of work to do.
Mr. Do-It-All.
Keep it real on that one. And yes, Chris, it is Carlos Davis, the graduate from UMass. 61% completion percentage last year, 886 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and limited playing time.
And starting off that nose tackle, it's Kamari Burns for Dante Corleone.
Sends a man in motion. Empty set for Carlos Davis. Quick drop from Davis. Scanning. Gets out flush to his left. Trying to outrun Jared Bartlett. And Jared Bartlett, the first play of his Bearcats career, is a sack.
And that was made possible by Eric Phillips. He had great pressure on Davis, which forced him to roll outside. And he ran right into Jared Bartlett.
Bartlett playing that Mike position and Jack Dingle moving over to the will. Jake Golday, 82 tackles last year when he was at Central Arkansas.
Yeah, when you look at this linebacking core, Satterfield says they feel they have at least 6 or 7 guys that will be in rotation and will play in the game. So this is a very deep linebacking core for the Bearcats.
Snap from Davis. The handoff to Matthews. Matthews gets hit pretty hard after gaining around 2. We're able to set up a 3rd down and 11.
I think overall, we're just excited to see Tyson Veit here at UC as a DC being this unique 3-3-5 formation. It's going to be a pleasure to watch with these athletes on the field.
Towson subs out and has 5 receivers on the field. 3 receivers down to Carlos Davis's right and 2 up top to his left, including in the slot, the FCS preseason All-American, Carter Runyon.
Let's see what the Bearcats draw up here. Looks like they're going to bring 4 along the line. We'll see.
Light box, the snap for Davis. 3-step drop. He'll take the shot. Thrown, and it's knocked off the hands of John Dunmore. In coverage, Jordan Young, and the Tigers will punt.
That's another key thing. The defensive backs for the Bearcats, the secondary. The team overall had 26 additions via the portal, and 5 of them are going to be in the secondary. So a lot of new faces out there Great play right there by Jordan Young.
New system, new faces, but Jordan Young, the mainstay in this system.
Hey, he led the team with 7 pass breakups last year.
Played a big key in some Bearcats success in the secondary. Hoping for more success going forward. Here the punter, Bryce LaFollette. He'll boot it away. Nice punt. It'll be fair call, but actually muffed. And Towson recovers it at the 20-yard line. Michael Masseri trying to fair catch it, turns his head, drops right through his hands, and Towson with a gift on the doorsteps of the red zone.
I will say this, Michael Masseri, he's a redshirt freshman, but he was backing up to get that punt. Look at the wind chase. It's going from north to south. That backed him up, and it's got a little wicked spiral on it. That could have messed with him a little bit.
For those wondering, Chris is also a part-time weatherman, so he's got a lot of this stuff down.
I will say that we are next to the coach's booth. I heard a few banging, and brings back memories of last year versus Iowa State.
Hopefully this is the only stuff that we hear from over there except for cheers. But Towson has it at the 20-yard line. Tight end to the right is Runyon. 3 receivers out to the left. Devin Matthews on the left hip of Carlos Davis. Flips the side. Matthews on the right. Carlos Davis, 3-step drop. A lot of patience. Throws to the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete, but a flag's going to be thrown. Jordan Young in coverage on the big Carter Runyon. Looks like a pass interference is going to be assessed.
Yeah, fans are not happy about that call, but we look at Carlos Davis. So making his progressions all the way through and looking at Runyon, Jordan Young maybe got a little handsy with it, but, not a good sequence of events for the Bearcats.
It'll be a holding on Jordan Young. It'll move Towson up 10 yards, where it will be first down and goal to go. Looks like they sub in both running backs, Devin Matthews and Christopher Watkins. The Marist transfer got some carries later on in the season last year, had 4 touchdowns, averaged 8.1 yards a carry.
Talk about that. That's some RJ Harvey numbers right there.
RJ all day, they say. Both running backs on both hips of Carlos Davis, but a timeout will be called by Towson. They need to talk this one over. And we're going to talk this one over in a break. We'll be back here shortly on Bearcast Sports Radio. Here we're back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Towson has the football on the doorstep of the end zone. They're first and 10, first and goal. Carlos Davis in the gun with Devin Matthews on the left. Londono in motion. Davis scanning the pocket, throws, and it's incomplete. Pass is intended for DK James.
Right there, good coverage by Jordan Young once again. The Bearcats need to make a stand right here. Second and goal from the 10. They need to have a good stop.
Cincinnati trying to keep the lead early on after a Michael Masseri mistake on a muff punt. Second down and 10 from the 10. Motion from Londono, right to left. Here the give to Matthews, and Matthews trying to jump over, and he gets tackled around the 5-yard line.
That was close. If he got out of that tackle, he would have been in the end zone. But I think it was Antoine Peak, who made the tackle right there.
Yeah, he was very close on that one. Towson not wasting any time. Third down and goal, 3 receivers out wide. Davis tried the hard count, but got his own man with it. Maybe a false start on Dan Volpe.
Now that changes everything. You're going from third and goal from the 5 to third and goal from the 10. That changes your play calling, your personnel. Big mistake for the Tigers.
And it relieves the pressure off the Bearcats a little bit.
But also now for the Bearcats, you got more ground to cover now. It's going to be 20 yards from the 10 to the end of the end zone. So stay composed, make a play right here, and try and force them to go for a field goal.
Will be third down and goal from the 10.
I will say this, last year, Towson, 36% on third downs. It was 10th in the CAA.
3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Davis, the clap, gets the snap, but a flag is thrown.
It's a good delay of game. I will say this. The Tigers are facing the ruckus right now, and it's pretty food for the season opener, so they're making a lot of noise, and it could be disrupting the communication for the Tigers.
That's a lot of white over there, and it's pretty intimidating to say the least. The ruckus doing their job. Substitution for both sides. Jonathan Thompson in the game and Darian Varner, the transfer from Wisconsin.
Play clock's at 5. They got to hurry up.
Towson's got to hurry. 3, 2, gets the snap off. 5 receivers. Davis looking, he's got a lot of time, throws, and it's ricocheted off and incomplete. Cincinnati able to hold Towson on that play. Going to bring up 4th down.
So intended target was Runyon. Davis made his reads. It looked like he second-guessed it. He had him at first. Looks like Runyon was running a crossing route in the end zone. He hesitated. He pump faked. But he still stared at him. Then he threw it the second time. Maybe the first time could have been something else for the Tigers, but Bearcats get out of it.
Davis had a lot of time on that throw. He had enough time to make a cup of coffee. Here, the kicker, Keegan Vaughn, will attempt a 32-yard field goal held by Justin Ritter. Snap, hold, kick up, and it is good in the All-State hands.
Strike down Main Street right there.
With 8:03 to go, Cincinnati's up 7-3 over the Towson Tigers. We'll take a break here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Keegan Vaughn will send this one away. Back deep to Logan Wilson. Here the kick is away. Caught by Wilson at the 21-yard line. Wilson juking and gets up to the 35-yard line where the Bearcats offense will take over.
Now, right here, these kicks by Towson, they're not going pretty far. They're not going towards the end of the end zone. They're actually almost like pooch-like kicks, which is giving the Bearcats the opportunity to go for the return.
There's like a strategic matter in that regard.
Most likely is. We'll see.
Here will be 1st and 10 for Cincinnati at the 35-yard line. The Bearcats went 7 plays, 75 yards on their opening drive. Capped off by a 2-yard Brendan Sorsby touchdown run. They'll have 3 receivers to the right of him and 1 to the left in Henderson. A motion across by Francis Sherman. Here the give to Kiner, and Kiner tries to go to the left side, and he gets stacked up. It's around 2 yards. The host of Tigers get there. Number 11, Rodney Roan, the one to get there first.
You're right there, the O-line for the Bearcats. They cannot make it to the second level, which allowed the Towson linebackers just to infiltrate and get to Kiner very early on. Only a gain of 2, like you mentioned, but we'll see what happens with this play call. Maybe the Bearcats decide to throw it right here.
They have trips out to the right. Joe Royer, the tight end on the left. Kiner directly behind Sorsby. Sorsby the clap. Play fake. Looking. Throws over the middle, and it's caught by Joe Royer. And Joe Royer gains around 22 on that play. His first catch as a Bearcat, the former Buckeye, gets the first down.
Now, Joe Royer, such a talented player. I'll let you go because they're going tempo.
We're going NASCAR pace right now, and they flip the formation. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Sorsby, the clap, throws out to Henderson, and it's off the hands and incomplete.
Maybe a little too fast for the Bearcats, but let's go back a play. It was a great read, a great throw to Royer, and he made a great catch. Now, Joe Royer, transfer from OSU, not much playing time, but this camp and off season, Coach Satterfield said he's such a talented player. He's had so much ball ahead of him. He hasn't played that much either. He's a talented tight end and earned that spot here. He's going to make an impact for the Bearcats.
Went to Elder High School, was a highly touted recruit from there, has 4 career catches, one of them being in the playoff game against Georgia when he was a Buckeye. Motion across for him. Sherman right next to Sorsby. Play action for Sorsby. Sorsby's going to take the shot. Sorsby's got Henderson, and it's a touchdown! Xavier Henderson on the post route. And Sorsby throws a dime right down the middle of the field, and the Bearcats strike again.
Hey, Satterfield said about Sorsby, he has a quiet confidence about himself, but he shows humility too. This kid can play ball, and so far for the Bearcats, I mean, this has been a pleasure to watch. A great throw, a great read, a great catch by Henderson.
Xavier Henderson had 782 yards last season. Book that up for 42 right there.
And a great response after dropping the catch earlier on.
Snap, hold, kick is up and good for Carter Brown. With 6:50 to go in the first quarter, the Bearcats are up 14-3. We'll take a minor break here on Bearcast Sports Radio.
The 2024 college football season, you'll notice the stadium is today. Privately built to all Bearcats home games. Where a field goal, an extra point made by Cincinnati, All-State contributing to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Since 2005, the games maintained that program. The U.S. military, UC Athletics, and to recognize the hometown hero. His honor, those who serve us. Team Reserve Master Sergeant Terrence Harrison is our hometown hero today. Harrison is a member of the 307th Rescue Brigade, where he serves as the Brigade Field Opportunity Officer. With over 35 years of continuous service, Master Sergeant Harrison has represented the Army in various locations across
We're back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. The Bearcats are up 14-3 over the Towson Tigers. With 6:50 go in the first quarter. Nathan Hawks will tee it up. Back deep to return would be Devin Matthews. This one will sail and bounce in the end zone for a touchback.
Bearcats on defense, they made quite a few plays last possession. It was just the unfortunate special teams error that allowed Towson to get points on the board, but overall in coverage, they've been playing very good in the revamped secondary.
Times like this last year, there have been times where they might have folded or anything in that situation. That's a tough thing to go into once you get a good stop and then a turnover like that happens. But the Bearcats are able to hold 3 instead of 7. Towson on the field now. Wing to the right of Carlos Davis, 2 to the bottom, 1 up top, running back to the left hip. Davis in the gun, claps, gives it off. And a nice run right there is about a 5-yard gain for number 4, Tyrell Green.
All right, there, he just lowered the shoulder and went through the fender. It looks like it's Mekhi Miller. Had trouble tackling him, but great run right there. 6 foot 195 running back. That's Tyrell Green, like you mentioned.
Here the gun. Snapped. Here is Davis rolling out, and on the run, it's caught by Lucas Londano. Londano breaks a couple tackles and gets on the plus side of the field up to the 47 of Cincinnati, moving the 6.
Looks like he collided with his own man on that play. He
think he
could have
did.
gotten more yards. It looked like 3 receivers in that small area, and they just ran into each other, but it could have been more yards.
Pace for the Tigers. A handoff for Green, and Green is stuffed up at the line of scrimmage by Jonathan Thompson. The redshirt sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, had 31 tackles last year. The St. Francis de Sales, same high school that former head coach Luke Fickle went to.
Talk about a storyline. Talk about a little fun fact, too.
Here the Tigers taking their time on this one. It'll be trips to the left side and one receiver down to the bottom. Motion out from Green. Davis, the drop back, gets out to his right. Looking, throws it high and over the head of Londono. It's incomplete.
Right there, Bearcats did a great job on creating pressure, forcing Davis out the pocket. And once again, secondary doing a great job on covering the Towson wide receivers. It's going to force third down.
That was big 93 Harrison Adams that broke through the line of scrimmage, nearly untouched. It'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 45-yard line of the Bearcats. 5 wide for Towson, 3 to the bottom, right, and 2 up top to the left. Davis looking a lot of time. He'll take it and run, and he gets stuffed. It'll be about a 2-yard gain, but not before he is dropped.
He took a hit.
He did take a hit.
Like Kalen Carroll?
It looked like it was Carroll.
Here's the thing, though. The Bearcats, they created pressure. They had an opportunity, but one of the players, I can't tell who it is, but he just looks like he wasn't aware of where Davis actually was, and he ended up right in front of him. But overall, Bearcats get a stop on 3rd down.
Towson will punt. Lafayette will punt it away. Down to Masseri. High punt. And it will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. But a flag is on the field. We'll see what that is.
Yeah, I really wasn't looking towards that side of the field. that was a late flag.
Everyone watching the ball on that one. The refs convene, and one official will run over to talk to Satterfield. Looks like that'll be on most likely the Tigers. Get the call.
Legal formation. Team. 4 players ready for the 5-yard penalty. They take it to the quick chances.
That's just discipline right there. There are a few bad penalties, but you get something like that. Illegal formation on a punt. That's rudimentary right there.
The little things add up to something big.
They do. They do. Looking at Towson, they were last in the conference in penalties. They had 8.1 per game. He committed 89 penalties.
They have 3 today.
Yeah.
The Bearcats will be on the field. The offense will be Brendan Sorsby once again. Be first down and 10. 2 receivers to his right. Sends Aaron Turner in motion. Gives it to Chance Williams. And Williams will get around 3 on the carry.
Chance Williams, he's a fun player to watch. A transfer from Grambling State, who's all-conference second team last season, 6 touchdowns on the ground. He's a physical runner, 5'10", 198. It's going to be hard to bring him down.
And like you mentioned earlier, the balance with him and Corey Kiner will go a long way in this conference. Second down and 10 in the pistol is Sorsby. Sends Royer in motion from left to his right. The clap, here's the snap. Throws out in the flat, it's caught by Royer. Royer's got a first down. Oh, man, Royer, he's got some ups, hurdles a man, and gets up to the 39-yard line, moving the 6.
He's just having fun out there right now. I mean, you can tell he is having a lot of fun on the field for the Bearcats, making plays, hurdling a man, too. I mean, you love to see it, though. You love to see it.
The brother's back home. He is in the hometown. You've got a good history of tight ends, recent history that are going to the National Football League. Maybe Royer's one of them. In the gun is Sorsby. Royer right next to him. Here, play action, roll to the left side. Sorsby looking, floats one deep, and a wide open Sterling Burkhalter. And Sterling Burkhalter will go for a touchdown. Absolutely nobody out there. And Sterling with the strut into the end zone.
It's a great play action play call right there. 61 yards. It really confused the defense. And Sorsby making a great throw wide open, like you said, with Burkhalter, and the Bearcats are just letting it pour on against the Tigers.
Brendan Sorsby right now, 200 passing yards in the first quarter. 1 incompletion. Carter Brown, the extra point. It's up and good.
I mean, great start for the Bearcats. It doesn't get any better than this. You are setting the tone for this match. 21 quick points, Sorsby, 3 touchdowns. I mean, hey, all I got to say is welcome to Cincinnati, kids.
21-3, Cincinnati is up right now. We'll take a small break once again here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Nathan Hawks will tee it up and send it away. Here's the kick from the 35. It's a low one to the sideline, and the kick will be out of bounds, and it will be a flag trying to pin him in coffin territory.
That one, you can't blame the win. You can't blame the win on that one. That's just another costly mistake, this time for the Bearcats. But going back to rudimentary stuff, this is stuff you shouldn't really have to work on during the season, but it's all right. First game jitters.
Yep.
No, you're really going to learn about your team in this matchup.
Jason Doss was very close to touching that
Very
right there.
close.
He had to pull a smooth criminal out there to not touch it.
You know what a coach told me before?
What?
You learn a lot about yourself between week 1 and week 2.
You definitely do. Towson has it 1st and 10. 3 receivers to the left. They send one in motion to the right. Davis throws out in the flat. It's caught by Londono, and he's hit immediately. That was Joshua Minkins.
He's one of the transfers in this secondary. He's coming from Louisville, making a big play right there for the Cats.
Quick tempo from the Tigers. Again over to Londono. Lodono hit hard and gets a first down.
So before this drive started, Davis was 1 for 5, and he was really surveying the field, trying to go down the field. But now Towson has switched their approach to something more quick throws, quick curl routes. Let's see if it continues.
A sense of urgency. Handoff fumbled, but it's recovered immediately by Devin Matthews. Went a little too fast on that.
A little too fast on the exchange right there, and as Matthews comes out, could have been a scary play for the Tigers.
A lot of substitutions for the Tigers. They send in 2 running backs, Christopher Watkins and Tyrell Green. The Bearcats with a couple subs of their own. It'll be 2nd down and 12 at the Tigers' 45-yard line. 2 receivers on both sides. 2 running backs, excuse me. The handoff is to Green, and Green has green grass ahead, and he gets hit low by Antoine Peak Jr., flipped over, and gets to about the 37-yard line and moves the 6 for a first.
It's Towson right there, lineup with 2 running backs in the backfield, and this was Green, as you mentioned. He just bounced it all the way outside. He was uncovered for the majority of the play and got a big gainage right there.
Same formation, 2 running backs in the backfield, 2 receivers out to the left. The clap from Davis, but the officials blow the whistle. And it looks like there'll be a false start.
Another penalty for the Tigers. Looks like that's going to be their 4th penalty, I believe.
It looks like it. 4 penalties for 20 yards. The Florian Staler.
It's left guard.
From Cologne, Germany. Once again, same formation for the Tigers. 1st and 15. Play fake. Throws out to the flat, and it was juggled and dropped by Christopher Watkins. Had some blocks set up really nicely if he was able to hold on to it.
He did, and out of this formation, they have a lot of good plays coming out of it. It's unfortunate for the Tigers. It was just the throw was a little too high by Davis, and Watkins couldn't reel it in, but it's 2nd and long for the Tigers.
It'll be 2nd down and 15 from the 42-yard line. Towson again with more subbing. Trips to the left. And a receiver down to the bottom. That would be DK James. Davis in the gun. Takes the snap. 3-step drop. Looking. Gets away. Throws it. And it's caught on the sideline by DK James. DK kind of hiding over there. And a great throw while getting hit was Carlos Davis.
I love how you mentioned he was hiding over there. I'm not going to lie. When looking at the field, I didn't even notice he was wide open.
It was going out of bounds for a second.
Yeah. We were watching the ball. I'm like, oh, wow, there's a receiver right there. But first down for the Tigers.
The Tigers will keep that same formation. They'll flip the running back Watkins to the left of Davis. Here in motion. Be a throw, and a tough throw, and what an amazing catch by Carter Runyon. Threw it in between 3 people, and the FCS All-American preseason selection goes up and gets it.
Well, you just showed us why he's an FCS preseason and All-American. I mean, that was a risky throw by Davis, but trusting your tight end in that situation.
Tigers not wasting any time. We 1st down and 10 from the 11 of the Bearcats. Gives it off to Watkins. Watkins bounces off a defender and gets down to about the 3-yard line. The ball did pop out, but they say that it was caused by the ground. And that will be the final play of this first quarter. The opening act for the 2024 Cincinnati Bearcats. 21 points. Brendan Sorsby showing off the arm, and an electric defense flying around the football.
Oh, yeah, what a game we got. Even though it's going to be just week 1, it's still going to be a great opportunity for both teams.
We'll be back here on Bearcast Sports Radio shortly.
Test, test, test. Test, test. Test.
Turnover of the second quarter here at Nippert Stadium. Towson will have 2nd and 3 at the Cincinnati 4-yard line.
We are back here for the second quarter. It'll be first down and 10 from the 4-yard line for the Tigers. Second down, excuse me. Handoff and tough running by Devin Matthews. We'll get to about the 3.
It's made 3rd and short for the Tigers.
Towson trying to get a touchdown on the board. Handoff to Matthews. Matthews hop step, and he stopped just shy of the end zone. Barely gets a yard on that one. And it'll be decision time. It'll be 4th down and 1. 4th down and goal from the 2.
Great play right here.
Snap. Handoff. Stuffed. Cincinnati stands strong.
Think that was Jared Bartlett. Big play by him. And it's a bigger stop for the Cats. I mean, they just infiltrated the backfield. No room to work for the Tigers.
Jared Bartlett filling the A gap and made his presence felt.
I mean, he went in there unblocked. It's a great defensive play. Now for the Bearcats, a little bit of a challenge. You get the ball at your own 3-yard line, so it's going to be kind of tough to get out of there. You got to maneuver your way out of there with a few run plays, maybe a few options, try and get the defense guessing, but 97 yards to go.
Breathing room will be the huge thing for them as they will have the ball at their own 3-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. Brendan Sorsby comes back into the game. Pistol formation. Motion from Tony Johnson. It's taken by Sorsby. Sorsby, the pitch out to Tony Johnson. Tony Johnson breaks a tackle and gets up to the 15-yard line. Picks up around 12 and moves the sticks.
You know, I ran that same exact play in NCAA football 25, the good old classic Read option. This time, Sorsby made the read and decided to pitch it out. And it's a great play. I mean, versatility. You know, you want to keep the defense guessing. You want to keep them on their feet.
Keeps them going every which way. Be first down and 10. Sorsby's in the gun. 2 receivers on both sides. He'll drop back. Quick throw out to Xavier Henderson. And Henderson will get around 5 yards on that.
So far, 2 plays for the Bearcats, 17 yards to get out of the tough spot. Their own 3, they make it all the way up to their own 20-yard line. So now it's more breathing room for them, which can open up the playbook and really maybe have Scott Satterfield dig in a little bit deep, or is he going to keep it basic?
A lot of things have been working for the Bearcats so far. There's 13 minutes to go in the first half. The give to Kiner. Kiner, lots of space. Bounces out, breaks a tackle. Kiner toward the Towson sideline and gets out around the 39-yard line. And the 1,000-yard rusher getting off with a nice sprint.
It was a great run, but what I liked was Tony Johnson, receiver, making a block on that left side, which allowed Kiner to bounce outside. And he essentially, Johnson has kept his man in place to the sideline, which allowed Kiner to go that way.
Bearcats setting up shop at their own 39-yard line. He doubles to both sides. Kiner on the right hip of Sorsby. Sorsby in the gun. Takes the clap. Here's the snap. Throws a screen. It's dropped by Xavier Henderson.
Second time today. Looks like, as you mentioned, Henderson, just an easy, quick pass to him, and he couldn't reel it in. But he also has that touchdown catch, so just a little more consistency out of him would be nice, but we get it. It's game 1. A lot of things to work on.
Henderson, 3 catches for 49 yards, and that touchdown that Chris just mentioned. Personnel shift by Cincinnati. Manning Covey is in the backfield. He'll take the handoff, and he'll get stuffed in the backfield. The entire Tigers defensive line shot through, getting stopped by Daniel Raymond. Looks like Deion Cruz-Harris.
You mentioned Covey in the backfield. They added a transfer in the running back room. Evan Pryor came from Ohio State, highly recruited. And looks like so far today, he might be that 4th running back on the depth chart. We know he's had a lot throughout his college career, including a season-ending injury in 2022.
A lot of running backs the Bearcats have. Here it's 3rd down and 15. The Bearcats have only had 1 third down today, and they converted it. Sorsby the snap. Sorsby steps over to his left. Looking down the field, makes a man miss. Nice throw out to Covey, but Covey slips, loses his footing, and will be well short of the first down marker.
Right there, I thought Sorsby was going to run for it, honestly. It looked like he had the lane and the opportunity too, but decided to dish it off, and it's all right, but it's 4th down for the Bearcats.
This will be the first punt that Cincinnati will have this season. And they'll send Mason Fletcher back there. Fletcher, 2023 All Big 12 honorable mention, 2022 Ray Guy Award finalist from Melbourne, Australia, 6'7".
Talk about his brother Max Fletcher too, transferring in from Arkansas.
Here Fletcher will do the Aussie style punt, deep punt that is, and pins the Tigers back inside their own 10 at the 6. But a flag is thrown.
Looks like it might be on the Bearcats.
The officials convening at the St. Paul logo at the 50.
This is in the backfield where Fletcher was. He didn't take any contact, so.
Holding. No chances. Receiving.
So we'll be a holding. And Towson's going to move them back about half the distance. There's not much room to go from where they had the fair catch.
They might push them back to the 3, it looks like, maybe. So to keep it at the 7, excuse me.
I think they're going to move it.
I was right. Back to the 3. Second guess myself. It's all right.
The unofficial 3.5 yard line, if you want to get technical, but I mean, You can't tell from up here.
You really can't. No, we do have a beautiful view. Nice sunny day here in Clifton. Few chance of rain showers, but looks like the rain might hold off.
You love the rain, don't you?
I don't love the rain. I just like providing the scenery of what's happening.
Well, of course. I mean, we can't show what's happening, so we got to explain it.
I'm not sure if you want me to explain what's happening from the sky.
Well, we have a moment.
It's very humid out there. 73% humidity.
It's true. If you are outside, you know it's humid for sure.
But the difference is it's 82 degrees outside compared to yesterday. It was upper 90s.
Yeah.
We had the privilege of calling the Battle of I-74 for Chatterbox Sports. That second half, it seemed like every other player went down with the cramp.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's August football. You have your training camps, your practices, the pads come out. It's a quick turn up, but yeah, the hydration and staying with the well fluids, it's a real thing. Because when that first cramp shoots through on your calf or your hamstring or your thigh, it ain't fun.
It's not fun. And I think about Jaden Little, the linebacker for Harrison. He went down with the cramp 3 times in one quarter.
One drive.
I think it was one drive.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I could not believe that. I mean,
unbelievable.
I get the pain you get from one cramp. I cannot imagine 3 of them
In that span. It's unbelievable. Be first down and 10. The Tigers backed up in their own territory. 2 receivers on both sides. Devin Matthews to the right of Carlos Davis. Davis in the gun. He's in the end zone. Throws a quick one out to Matthews. Matthews has it. Matthews gets along the sideline and picks up a first down out to around the 17-yard line.
Great play designed by the Tigers right there. For the Bearcats, cornerback Jordan Robinson had the wrong read. He first went in towards Matthews, but then Matthews cut it outside.
Quick tempo for the Tigers. And a big hit. It was Mekhi Miller that laid the boom on Devin Matthews. Matthews does pick up about 5 on that play, but the presence felt for Mekhi Miller.
I mean, hard-hitting linebackers and DBs for the Bearcats.
Tigers up tempo again. 2 receivers on both sides. 3-step drop for Davis. Throws it out and almost intercepted. It was Jonathan Thompson with full extension on the football. Very close to getting that.
Very close, and that would have been 6 going the other way for the Cats. Overall, just a great pass deflection, and it's 3rd down for the Tigers.
Cincinnati subs in an entirely new unit. The 3rd down rush. Towson has 5 receivers. Empty backfield for Davis. Ruckus gets loud as he is very deep in his own territory.
Bearcats might rush 3 right here.
The clap, the snap. Throws over the middle, it's caught. And with a lot of green grass going is Jason Doss. And Doss will take it the distance. Catch the ball and sprint off as Doss takes it for a touchdown.
Transfer from Fresno State. I mean, they just found a slip seam in the zone. The Bearcats only rushed 3 on that one. They dropped back 8 in coverage. And I know DC Tyson Vite is not happy about that one.
Quick read and throw for Carlos Davis. And the Towson Tigers have some life. Here the extra point will be Keegan Vaughn. Will be held by Justin Ritter. The snap, the hold, the kick is perfect.
The Tigers respond. They did it right there. 76-yard touchdown. Jason Doss.
Huge play from them. The sideline jolted with energy. 9:54 to go in the first half. It's 21-10. Bearcats are up. We'll be back on the other side. You're back on Bearcast Sports Radio. The score is 21-10. Cincinnati is up. Just a little below 10 minutes to go in the first half. It has been a fun one. Long touchdown passes by both teams. Towson kicks it away, an even shorter kick than before, fielded by Logan Wilson. Wilson trying to get through, muscles his way to around the 37-yard line. Cincinnati again with good field position.
And you mentioned that. I really do think it's a strategic point from what they're doing, because the kicker, the place kicker, he's not taking a long drop back. It's only a few steps. It's really quick and concise, right to the point. So they're definitely seeing something. They want to avoid certain players, it seems like.
Avoiding certain players and finding some spots on the field, it looks like.
And that's what it's all really about, is the placement of the ball. If you can get in the right point and make the Bearcats special teams uncomfortable, that's where mistakes happen.
1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Sorsby on the drop back. Looks out to his right and then throws, and it's caught by Xavier Henderson. Henderson caught it at the 50-yard line and made his way to the 46-yard line of Towson. It'll be a first down.
But Henderson has 6 targets so far in this match. Sorsby and Henderson, so far a good connection. A few drops by Henderson, but overall mostly positive, including the long touchdown earlier.
To mention Xavier Henderson's brother, Texans cornerback and former first-round pick C.J. Henderson. Be interesting receiver-corner matchup of brothers at a family reunion.
Or a family cook. I know there's definitely bragging rights.
Sorsby throws a screen out to Joe Royer with a lot of space. Royer, the big man, rumbles down the sideline, and Royer gets down around the 10-yard line. Misdirection and finding Royer onto the right side and let the big man get out in space.
I mean, just a great play design by Scott Satterfield and the Bearcats. You had the backfield, Chance Williams, mentioned play fake. He goes left. Royer pump fakes, looks right and finds Royer. And not only that, you got 2 linemen out in front of him, too, leading the way.
The game of spacing, and there's not much more space you can have than that play right there.
Royer making an impact, 70 receiving yards so far.
On 3 catches to say. 1st and 10, double wing. Handoff, Chance Williams, left side, Williams, and he gets around the 3-yard line. Williams made a vicious cut the run short.
Yeah, you look at Williams, as we mentioned, 5'10", 198. He's a big guy. He's also agile. He's quick. He can make the cuts. That's exactly what he did on that run right there. It's going to be a great add to the Bearcats running back room.
It's like that fire and ice dynamic. Corey Kiner, Chance Williams, with the speed. It's going to be fun to watch with them.
Definitely will be.
2nd down and goal. Sorsby keeps it. Sorsby brought back trying to fight, but is ultimately tackled right there. I think that was number 24 for Towson.
That's a big loss for the Cats right there. And to say probably so far that may be the Bearcats' only bad play on offense, really.
Yeah, that was one of the only negative plays that they've had the entire day, and that was Mike Swain who made the tackle for the Tigers. Now it will be 3rd down and goal from the 12-yard line. It does give the offense a little bit more room to operate, so it is an interesting scenario in that regard.
Defense has to cover more ground.
Sorsby the snap, quarterback draw, finding a way. Sorsby walk down Broadway for the touchdown.
He's so fun to watch. I'm really glad the Bearcats got him.
That's Sorsby's 4th touchdown of the day. 2 through the air and 2 on the ground.
And once again, great blocking by the Bearcats right there in the old line, allowing Sorsby to manage his way out of the pocket and go into the end zone untouched. As you mentioned, more space for the Cats on offense, and the defense, they have to cover more ground. Bearcats with the opportunity.
Carter Brown with the extra point. It's up and good. Cincinnati takes a 28-10 lead with 6:56 to go in the first half.
Sorsby, he's really a two-way player, a dynamic. He can throw it out, and he can also hurt you on the run.
has the same amount of touchdown passes as he has incompletions.
And we look at it, those two drops, though the two incompletions are two drops by Henderson.
Yeah.
It's not like he missed them badly, just off the hands.
Looking at these numbers right now, Cincinnati, 317 total yards, 268 through the air. It's normally the other way around. They run the football so well, but airing it out here.
Yeah, and it deals with, obviously, the week one matchup with Coach Scott Satterfield. You want to keep the playbook simple. You don't want to go deep into the bag and pull out trickery plays. You want to keep it really simple. It's really unique, though. You mentioned, it's usually flip-flop. One of the best rushing teams in the country, that's their bread and butter, and they're really relying on the passing game right now.
And on the flip side, Towson, they've found a way to get down the field a couple of times. They got stopped deep in Cincinnati territory. They went for it on 4th and 1 at the 2, got stuffed. There's a potential where they could have scored a touchdown. This game could be a little different if Towson was able to punch it in.
Yeah, and looking at the score, 28-10 for the Cats, I don't really think that score represents or reflects what we've seen so far. In the first quarter, Towson, they really struggled. But in the second quarter, they really started getting it going. You mentioned they had the 4th down that they were stopped deep inside Bearcats territory, and they had a nice 70-yard-plus touchdown reception to get a touchdown on the board. But their offense has been pretty good so far, nearly 200 yards.
Carlos Davis completing around 54% of his passes, 155 yards. A big chunk being on that huge play, but he's looked pretty comfortable today.
He has, and he started the game off with 1 for 5. That was early on, and now he's 10 for 13. Now, I'm not good at math, but
6 for 8.
6 for 8. Yep, I was gonna go with that, believe it or not. But
75% chance,
yeah,
right?
So he's 6 for 8 so far after going 1 for 5. He's definitely caught his rhythm, and he's on a new team. He's coming from UMass. You got to create that chemistry. It's different in practice versus the actual in-game chemistry. So it's taken a while to get ready and warmed up, but here he is.
Speaking of chemistry, he has found 5 different receivers, Lucas Londano being his leading receiver on the reception side of things, and Fresno State transfer Jason Doss having that long touchdown.
Also, same for the Bearcats. Looks like 7 different receivers with the catch.
Xavier Henderson leading away with 4 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown. Joe Royer leading in yards with 70 on 3 catches, 46 yards after catch.
The Bearcats lost a tight end in the portal, Shimon Matire. Imagine that 1-2 duo with Royer and Matire. Maybe you argue, though, you don't get Royer if you keep Matire.
That's very true. Nathan Hawks tees it up, kicks it away. Deep, it'll be a touchback. Towson answered with a deep touchdown of their own. Cincinnati responds back. Does Towson have a message?
Well, we'll see. If you got quarterback Carlos Davis in there, as you mentioned, he's starting to pick up his rhythm a little bit. Let's see the Tigers do. They keep basic, keep going on the ground, or hit the pass game up more. But how will the Bearcats defense respond after that?
Again, at an 18-point cushion right now, midway through the second quarter. The Tigers offense on the field, 2 receivers to Davis's left, 1 up to the top. Devin Matthews gives it. That's Tyrell Green, and Green gets it. He's down by contact after a 6-yard gain, but the Bearcats claim they have the football. Very interesting. Towson trying to go quicker so Cincinnati doesn't have a chance to possibly review this one. It looked like he was down on the ground.
It did. It took a while for the play to develop, but it did look like Green was down. But they teach you, go till you hear the whistle.
2nd down and 4 at the 31 of Towson. Rollout, caught, and a big tackle right there. Jordan Young went very low after the catch was made by Carter Runyon out in the flat.
Yeah, so far, cornerback Jordan Young has had a pretty good game for the Bearcats on the defensive side. Let's see what they can do right here on 3rd and short.
3rd down and 2. Davis in the gun. Here's the snap. Looking around. Gets out to his right. Throws. Caught by Londono, but it's actually knocked away and incomplete. Coming downhill was Antoine Peak with a big hit, jarring the ball loose.
Yeah, Londono, he's shaking up on that. That was a big hit by Antoine Peak.
Put the shoulder right where the ball was and was able to pop it out.
He jarred it incomplete, yeah, and it's a great defensive play by the Bearcats.
An official timeout. You mentioned it was Londono. Got popped on that one. Tending to him on the sideline. It will be 4th down and 2. Towson will get ready to send this one away to Michael Masseri. And the snap and the kick. A nice kick. Caught by Masseri. Makes a man miss along the Towson sideline and gets out just past the 30-yard line up to about the 34.
I bet you that definitely improves confidence for him after the drop punt early on in the first quarter, but he's a redshirt freshman. You know, he's going to take time to adapt to situations week one. And like I said, confidence definitely going up after that one.
To get on the field in any way as a freshman is a big thing. And to have the trust and responsibility as a punt returner, special teams goes a long way. It's not talked about as much, but mistakes earlier, you highlight those, but then when you make big plays that are positive, those get highlighted as well. Bearcats offense on the field, given off to Kiner. Kiner dishes out punishment and gets 11 on the play up to the 46 of their own.
I like how you mentioned special teams goes a long way. And when the coordinator, Gary Coombs, you know, he's such a likable guy. You know, I know he's definitely going to be a player favorite if you're going to be under him in the Bearcats.
Gary Coombs has been at Ohio State for a bit, Cincinnati as well.
Same with Tennessee, too.
Yeah. 1st and 10. Sorsby drop back, gets out to his left, throws it, and it's caught by Sterling Burkhalter and gets the first down. Actually, they'll mark him out as he stepped out ever so slightly short of the first down marker.
So this was very unique. Sorsby was under pressure and he had to roll out. And as you mentioned before, with one of the players, Towson, kind of sneaking on the sideline, you don't really notice him. And Burkhalter's there just waving him down like, Sorsby, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. And he hits it, but
he does.
Played a little too close to the sideline. But regardless, it's a gain of 9.
That gain of 9 will bring up a 2nd down and 1. 2 receivers to Sorsby's right. Kiner behind him. Give to Kiner. Kiner bounces it to the right side. Gets up to around the 35-yard line, moving the sticks for Cincinnati.
You're right there. Another great run by Kiner. He's such a north-south runner in particular situations. On that one, though, it looked like he could have bounced it outside once again, but he decided to lower his shoulder and take the contact and get a few more yards.
And it looks like we're going to get to see the first of Evan Pryor into the game. The Ohio State transfer from Cornelius, North Carolina, will be lined up on the left side of Brendan Sorsby. Motioning in is Joe Royer from left to right.
2 former teammates, Ohio State.
Doubles receivers on both sides. Drop back for Sorsby. Airs it out, looking for Burkhalter. Throws it, and it's incomplete, but a flag is tossed by the official in the end zone. It looks like they're going to get a pass interference call. It'd be Emerald Gant, excuse me.
And here it is. The Bearcats, they had at 35-yard line. That's the ideal range to take a shot towards the end zone because it's not too close, but you still can spread out the field, which is not too far. So Bearcats decided to go for a shot. Didn't get it, but they get the pass interference call.
Look, that ball was overthrown, and Gant just got the feet tangled up and played too aggressive on that one.
Yeah, definitely, as you mentioned, it was overthrown. Even we saw from up here.
Snap for Sorsby. Pump fakes to his left, rolls to his right, and just throws it into the ground. It's incomplete. The screen was blown up.
Yeah, nothing really going there for the Bearcats on that play. As you mentioned, they tried to get the screen to Kiner going, but the Towson defense was right there, right with them. not much you can do there for Sorsby. You're rolling to your right, too.
Their last drive, they had that misdirection screen that worked, and Tigers were not fooled on that one. Second down and 10 from the 21-yard line of the Tigers. Royer motions across the formation to his left. Hand off to Kiner. Kiner tried a vicious cut, but falls down and only gets a yard.
Yeah, Turf Monster got him on that one.
It's a Turf Monsters opener as well.
It's 3rd and long for the Bearcats. Let's see what they go with right here.
Tony Johnson and Joe Royer out to Sorsby's right. Tyron Smith and Xavier Henderson to his left. Corey Kiner on the right hip. Sorsby audibles at the line of scrimmage. Kiner flips sides to the left. The snap. Here's Sorsby on the drop back. Throws the out route, and it's caught by old reliable Joe Royer.
All reliable. Talk about a big target for the tight end, 6'5", 255, really making an impact for the Bearcats in this game so far.
It'll be 1st and goal to go for Cincinnati at the 8-yard line. Personnel shift now. It's like Francis Sherman checked into the game, as well as Michael McCalmont.
Got one-on-one up top with Xavier Henderson.
And an untimely snap. Corey Kiner has it, dancing his way, and is stuffed well behind the line of scrimmage. Like Gavin Gerhardt and Brendan Sorsby were not on the same page in that.
Yeah, when watching, I don't think Sorsby had a clap. I don't think he was even signaling anything. It was just the snap came out of nowhere. Gerhardt heard something, but I do know if the defense does clap, that is a penalty. They can't do that.
That is true. And we have reached the 2-minute timeout. We have to specify the 2-minute timeout. But it's 28-10. Cincinnati is up, knocking on the doorsteps of the 10. It's 2nd and goal. Ball at the 13-yard line. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. Back here on Bearcast Sports Radio as we finish the 2-minute timeout. Got some scores around college football at the 12 o'clock hour. Akron just took a 3-0 lead over Ohio State. Penn State's up 20-6 with a delay in the third quarter. Good at Oklahoma State right now, Big 12 member, up 17-6 over South Dakota State.
Georgia, big win versus Clemson, 34-3 in Atlanta.
I mentioned that they play in Atlanta almost all of the time, it seems like.
Pittsburgh won 55-24. The Bearcats will see them next week. But Vandy beating VTech in overtime, 34-27.
And you picked them to go to the ACC championship.
Let's not mention that, please.
We'll talk about that off camera. Here we go, off the air. Here, third down, throw, corner, end zone. It's deflected away. That was second down, excuse me, but nonetheless deflected away and incomplete, intended for Xavier Henderson.
Now, right there, I mean, that was a very, very good throw, but the Bearcats have it at their own 13-yard line, and it's not much room to work with. It's very tight. Maybe pushing back a couple yards, that could have been a touchdown, but overall, a great throw. Just couldn't haul it in for Henderson.
We'll have another chance here on 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line. 3 receivers out to Sorsby's left, motions Royer from left to right. Here's the snap. Sorsby, play fake, throws, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Intended for Francis Sherman, the Arkansas transfer. That'll bring up 4th down. And the field goal unit will come on.
It's going to be Carter Brown. He's pretty reliable, 15 for 19 last year, long of 54.
Came over from Arizona State after 2022. Second year as a Bearcat. This kick's going to be 31 yards away. Kicking it into the ruckus. Snap, hold, kick. And it's missed. Carter Brown misses the kick. And Towson, with a little bit more life, have to travel around 80 yards down the field, but this offense has played with a lot of tempo today. And this is the situation that they would want to be in.
So does that count as an announcer's jinx for what I said? That he's been pretty reliable. Does it count?
It's week 1, man. It's week 1 for everybody.
Yeah, week 1, anything can happen. I'm not counting that. That's just unfortunate.
Now, if it happens again, it plays into its own saying. Towson out there on the field, 3 receivers to the right. Carlos Davis hands it off. And a lot of space for Christopher Watkins. Green grass ahead. Watkins is tackled down by Jordan Young at the 41-yard line, and a quick strike from the Tigers. They're in business.
Another big play for the Tigers.
39-yard run on that.
This time, as you mentioned, it's on the ground. First, it was the long reception. Now, Towson, they're in Bearcat territory.
Here at the 41-yard line, the Tigers playing with tempo. 3 receivers to the right, 1 down below to the left. Looks like we're going to get a penalty. Looks like it's going to be a false start. Florian Staler, it's his 2nd penalty of the day. It'll move the Tigers back 5 yards.
So, as we mentioned, Tigers got inside Bearcats territory now. We keep seeing a lot with teams early on this season. Penalties, big timely penalties that cost them a lot. Towson, will they bounce out of it right here? It was a penalty on the line, backs them up 5 yards. And that can really ruin the momentum for the Tigers.
You see it at times after big plays, teams want to go to the line of scrimmage, but they're not on the same page, and that's where you get those minor penalties that have major effects. All right, now Towson, with it being inside of 2 minutes, they were going to have a 10-second runoff, but they elected to take a timeout so they could save that time. Time is of the essence, they say.
Oh, yeah. 1:25 left to go before halftime. They have up to 46. Definitely a lot of time to maneuver with.
Now let's tee it up here, Chris. Carlos Davis is 8 for 15, 157 yards, and a touchdown. Do they take the shot here? Do they try to mix in run and pass and use this advantage? They have 1 timeout right now.
Well, if I'm Towson, right, it's 1st and 15. If it was 1st and 10, personally, I'd run it. Get a few yards, kind of balance it out. But since it's 1st and 15, the emphasis on getting yards on first down is very important here because this can determine the rest of the drive and how it goes. So I'm expecting a pass here, but something quick. We saw him earlier, quick tempo, quick curl routes, quick crossing patterns. If I'm quarterback Carlos Davis, I'm going with a quick pass right here.
And the Tigers are back on the field here. 3 receivers out to Carlos Davis's right, Christopher Watkins to his left, John Dunmore down to the left. Here's the snap. 3-step drop for Davis, and he's tripped behind and sacked. Eric Phillips, the Cincinnati kid, gets after.
And right there, they tried running a crossing pattern. Just great pressure created by the Bearcats D-line and Eric Phillips, who was 5th on the team last season with 5.5 tackle for losses. He gets a big sack right there for the Cats.
The Coleraine High School product able to make a play, and it looks like a timeout will be called. Have to see exactly who called the timeout.
Yeah, we didn't catch it on who called the timeout. It's going to be on Cincinnati. Cincinnati will take the first timeout.
First timeout.
So they're thinking if they can get a stop here at 2nd and 19, they have 2 timeouts left. They can potentially get the ball with around a minute to go. They're thinking they can go down and score.
I mean, the Bearcats have been able to score from any part of the field, long balls, running the football. So they have a lot of confidence on their side and trying to put the pressure on these Tigers.
Yeah, and 2nd and 19, you got to figure Towson, they're going to have to pass the ball here. So it's an empty backfield, so the Bearcats kind of can drop back 8 players.
3 receivers to Davis's right. Carter Runyon lined up to the left at the tight end position. Motioning in is Christopher Watkins. Davis looking, throws, and it's caught by Carter Runyon. Lots of space for Runyon, and Runyon runs on out of bounds up to the 43-yard line of the Bearcats.
Here's why it's risky when it's passing right here. The Bearcats are trying to save as much time as they can, and if it's an incompletion, if it were, stops the clock, Bearcats save a timeout, but it's another crossing pattern. They get Runyon, and he goes out of bounds, so the clock does stop. It's a gain of about 6. It's 3rd and long.
It will be 3rd and 13 at the 43 of Cincinnati. Carlos Davis in the gun. Christopher Watkins on his right hip. Davis, the hard count. The flag will be thrown. More real estate for the Tigers. The referees are convening at the moment. What looked like it was an encroachment. And they get a false start on it.
I think they said it's on the receiver, number 11. JC Andasi said, that's my bad.
Well, in situations like this, we're looking at the ball. It's interesting to see a receiver have a false start.
Well, thank God we do have this PA system here from the ref.
Indeed. Because we'd be asking so many questions. It is 3rd down and 18 at the Bearcats' 48-yard line. Stuff does change for the Tigers. Their attack. 3 receivers to the left of Davis. Here's the drop back. 3 steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. Lots of space out to his right and gets around, we'll call it the 36-yard line.
Interesting. 4th down. If they kick it, it's a 53-yarder. But they might save Gress and try and go for this.
This is truly the definition of no man's land right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's 4th and 5.
The kicker, Keegan Vaughn, his long is only 43. They're going to go for this.
It looks like there's no question about it at the moment. Only 1 timeout. I think they will burn it here. Empty set for Carlos Davis. A huge 4th down from the 36. Davis looking, quarterback draw, trying to read his blockers. Reads well enough and gets the 1st down. Turn the page.
Right there, Davis showing off with his legs, getting the play done on the run.
If there's an official timeout.
The player helmet came off. That's Gene Germain.
That's a big boy. 6'6", 355 from Burtonsville, Maryland.
And he had a nice block on that play. There was Davis right behind him, and Jermaine was paving the way for Davis.
He was. Coming off the field was him, and coming on is Ibrahim Jiwa. Marist transfer, playing the right guard position now. Tigers in business.
6'4", 290.
Here's Davis. 3-step drop. Airs it to the end zone. And it's incomplete. A little too far out in front of Jason Das.
Right there for the Bearcats. The coverage. Little handsy, little hand action in the end zone. Officials decide no flag.
Towson in that situation trying to be aggressive with 34 seconds on the clock. It's 2nd down and 10, ball at the 28-yard line. We'll say Towson did defer and kick to start the game off, so if they can get points, they get the ball, start the second half, get a 2-for-1. Play fake. Davis airs it out, looking, and it's incomplete. John Dunmore, the intended receiver, but a great play by Ormine Arnold.
He's only a sophomore. He had 33 tackles last year, playing coverage on the receiver right there. And now they're, once again, contact this time, but officials, I don't think that was enough for pass interference. But Bearcat defenders playing really handsy and making the contact.
And a Bearcat defender is down, and that's one of the last defenders in the secondary you want to see down. It's Jordan Young.
Hope it's just a cramp.
Hopefully so. It is a very humid August day. They'll get him checked out. He gets up pretty quickly.
See him limping a little bit. He's drinking some water. He has his helmet off.
Like he was holding his hamstring, so hopefully it was just a cramp in that regard.
He's fighting really tough out there. I mean, he's making a lot of
is.
plays.
He's been all over the place, making tackles low, hitting guys. I mean, he's done a very good job. He's gotten his hands on the ball a couple times today.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna make it really hard for the receivers to get open. He's gonna play really tight coverage. He's gonna be really physical with you.
Now let's see if they go after where Jordan Young was. Be 3rd down and 10 from the 28-yard line. 2 receivers on both sides. Devin Matthews to the left of Carlos Davis. Davis in the gun. Gets the snap. Trying to buy time. Lots of time. Airs it out deep down the field. And it's caught! John Dunmore with the head tap.
Hey, transfer from Oregon State. I mean, that play is made by Davis getting out of the pocket. And he just threw a prayer up with Dunmore, guarded by Arnold. It was one-on-one the entire time.
Carlos Davis is having himself a half as well. Wow. And the energy has shifted to the side of the Tigers. The kick is up, and it is through. The momentum has shifted. The eye of the Tiger has opened. It's 28-17 with 19 seconds to go in this first half.
That's your guess who gets the ball at half. Tigers, they're down by 11. That could be a very pivotal play. That's a way to get momentum going in the half. But Gerard Cherry, he looked, we made eye contact and we were amazed at the catch.
I mean, the ability, and to say that Carlos Davis got out to his left, he's had a lot of time in the pocket today, Chris.
He has, and I think an impact of that's not having Corleone. You know, you got to have other D tackles step up and, you know, fill that void right there. But, you know, it kind of comes down to 3-3-5. You know, there's pros and cons. You know, sometimes you're only rushing 3, and that could be hard. But there have been moments where the Bearcats have created pressure in the pocket. But most of the time, Davis has a lot of time to throw.
Kicking it away is Keegan Vaughn, and he kicks it even shorter than any other kick that he's had, and it's fair caught. Looks like that was Jake Golday.
Chase, I got to ask you. 19 seconds left. They're going to mark it at the 30-yard line. Bearcats have 2 timeouts. Do you try something here? Maybe
Well,
deep in the playbook, get a little trickery action going?
I think in this situation, they could try to find the one-on-one. They don't have the kneel down formation going. Maybe they try to run this thing out, or they've got 4 receivers on the field. You're looking at Henderson and Royer out there, and Tyron Smith and Tony Johnson. They look like they want to try to find the one-on-one here. It's 1st and 10. Evan Pryor is to the left hip, throws it, caught by Royer, gets out of bounds. The Cats do have 2 timeouts. Only burned 4 seconds on that play.
Just about to say, same thing you said, only 4 seconds taken off the clock right there. And the Bearcats, ideally in field goal range, they want to get to about, I want to say, the 37 of the Towson Tigers. Brown's long is 54. He did miss one earlier, but look at maybe another 25, 30 yards to get into field goal range.
It's going to have to be quick throws, but time of the essence, but 2 timeouts. Snap for Sorsby, drops back, steps up in the pocket, throws, airmails it incomplete. Pass intended for Tyron Smith. I don't think all 5'7" of Tyron Smith is going to go up and get that one.
Yeah, especially not around 2 guys. 2 Towson defenders playing right by him. 11 seconds left. Kind of really changes up everything.
It does. And I think in this situation, maybe they try to get a first down, get a 7 or 8 yards, and have a chance to throw a Hail Mary down the field with the amount of time there is. It's 3rd and 2, ball on the 38-yard line, 2 receivers on both sides. Evan Pryor out in the flat. He catches the pass from Brendan Sorsby. Pryor with blockers. Pryor breaks a tackle and another tackle and gets out to the 50-yard line where there's 4 seconds left in this first half.
Overall, great play by the Bearcats. Go with the halfback screen to Pryor, goes left side, and it's not enough for field goal range, but it definitely makes it more comfortable for Sorsby to try and air it out to the end zone.
Sorsby can get it there.
He can.
And they have, it looks like, 8, 9, and 10 on the field, being Henderson, Aaron Turner, and Jamoy Mays, and 11 in Joe Royer.
Here's the thing, that's not that much height.
The throw over the middle, it's caught by Xavier Henderson. Henderson, lots of space, cuts back to the middle of the field, and he'll get tackled around the 30-yard line. And that will conclude this first half of play. We've had lots of fireworks in this one. It's 28-17. The Cats are up over the Tigers. We're going to take a breather. Be back here at the start of the second half on Bearcast Sports Radio.
Test. 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 Test.
Bearcat fans, this is a halftime show with University of Cincinnati Park Summit. Cheers, Cincinnati!
The audio quality.
Quality is the thing. I mean, seems as though he can be heard fine, but
Just the crowd noise, that's what
Yeah.
people really want. It's the
that's the
crowd
big
noise.
thing.
So
Want to get this figured out and try to give the best broadcast that we can.
that it fixed it.
Ah,
I thought it did.
well, that's
Mhm.
unfortunate. Technology, man.
It really is technology. I thought I had it.
to around the 20-yard line. It's caught and returned by Golday. And up to about the 35-yard line. The Bearcats will start in pretty good field position.
Yeah, let's see how they respond to this. It's a one-possession game. Not necessarily the pressure is on, but, there's some sense of urgency for Bearcats to expand their lead and try to respond and put this game out of reach for the Tigers. You look at Sorsby, he's had 17 23, 328, 2 touchdowns in the air and 2 on the ground. Let's see what he's got here.
It'll be first down and 10. Will be 3 receivers down to the left of Sorsby. He'll send Royer across the formation in motion. Give it to Evan Pryor. Pryor with space. Pryor gets through the gap. Evan Pryor. He's going to take it the distance. One play touchdown for the former Buckeye turned Bearcat. 6 goes for 6.
Listen, this kid's been through a lot. He's had a season-ending injury back in 2022. He came to the Bearcats, was poised for a bigger role, and the Bearcats brought in Chance Williams too. This kid's been through a lot, and what a way to make an impact. Evan Pryor, you love to see it.
The jolt that he's able to give. One play, 64 yards. He's already the leading rusher on the team with that one carry.
He was the number 2 all-purpose back in 2021. He's got the talent. He just hasn't been able to show with injuries and other circumstances.
And he shows it on that one. Carter Brown's extra point up and good. The score is 35-20. Cincinnati with a quick answer. Does Towson have another one in them? We'll see, but wow.
What a strike.
It was lightning in a bottle right there.
What a strike, literally, yes. It's a nice handoff to the right side, and Pryor just found a lane, and he took off. He's got speed. Speed
for days, they say.
But honestly, that's sorry to interrupt, but it's
good.
It's truly a pleasure to see.
It really is. Just seeing again what he's been through and those circumstances that he's had to overcome and everything. For him to have a huge run like that just gains confidence so high on that level.
Second career touchdown, too. I think it's the first one in 3 years.
Wow. From North Carolina, Cornelius, North Carolina, that is. The redshirt junior. Didn't really get a huge chance at Ohio State. So much talent there.
Yeah, like we said, the other circumstances around it, the injuries, the other players the Ohio State Buckeyes always have, and the loaded running back room. You look at it. Dallin Hayden left. Chip Chainham left. Fire left.
Yep.
They bring in Judkins. There's so much talent there. And same thing with Joe Royer.
Yeah.
You look at him, just in a loaded room with I can't think of his name. Cade
Stover.
Cade Stover, that's what it was. Cade Stover. I don't think he was there when Rutger was there. He might have been.
Yeah, some of those years kind of overlap. It's
Rutger, Farrell.
Because Cade started out as a linebacker, actually.
Correct.
It was, interesting switch.
Thank you for saying that. I was blanking on Cade Stover's name. But, same thing with Royer. Just talent around him, certain circumstances. And like I said, it's truly been a pleasure to see him play here and him have the tight end in one spot for the Bearcats, especially in his hometown.
There's another Buckeye on this team. He hasn't gotten on the field today, but that being Kai Stokes. He's from Tampa, Florida. Played a little bit in 2022. Interesting about Kai Stokes, he ran a 10.8 100-meter dash during high school in track. Wow. He can float. That's a way to put it. Stokes, Pryor, Royer, all of those guys go down I-71, enroll at UC. 2 of the 3 have made huge impacts today. Kai Stokes would assume to get a chance sooner, if not later.
Yeah, because he's listed as the backup, I believe, free safety on the depth chart. He'll definitely get his opportunity to play today. But it's just another thing. The Bearcats bring in so many new DBs. There's a lot of competition for those slots. You can only play 4 or 5 of them at a time. Mainly 4.
Yeah, a lot of depth in that regard. Nathan Hawks is going to tee this one up at the 35-yard line. He'll kick it down the field to Jason Das, who had the huge touchdown reception in the second quarter. 35-20 to score, 9:52 to go in the third quarter. And a very active game. Kick sent, caught at the 7-yard line, and fair caught. The Tigers will set up shop momentarily.
So we talked about it, the Bearcats, how will they respond? How will the Tigers respond here? Well, they've past quarter and a half, they've been playing pretty good on the offensive end of the ball after a slow start, but they're capable. They're playing their hearts out. I mean, they really, truly have nothing to lose.
Again, balanced offense, 200 yards passing, 134 yards rushing. They've done a good job today. It's 1st and 10 in the spread formation. Davis gives it off, and it's a nice run right there by Tyrell Green, picking up around 8 yards on that.
Yeah, Green's had a pretty solid day so far. 6 carries, it's like around 40 yards on the ground, too. I mean, he's playing pretty good. And he's listed as RB3 on the depth chart, but, I mean, their running back room is really talented.
6 carries for 44 yards. Here, Davis throws, and he is draped. Draped in coverage with Zay Perkins, who haven't seen much of. Last year, he had 26 catches for 301 yards and 4 touchdowns. Has not been on the field a whole lot today, as there's an injured Tiger on the field. Looks like,
I think Ralph Page,
the center, the 6'3", 305-pound senior from Washington, D.C.
and the Towson O-line. They've had a lot of injuries on the O-line front, but
it's a cramp.
Yeah, you really hope it's a cramp. We mentioned it.
Hope.
It's very humid out there. I mean, it's been humid all week. It's really been a very, very bad weather week considering the heat we've had and very minimal rain.
It says it's 82 degrees right now. Humidity at 72%.
That's, wow, that is very, very high. And the dew point's around 72. So, I mean, it's very close in range. But main point, it's very humid. I mean, gotta drink your water, get your electrolytes.
Have to.
And we said it yesterday, too. You know, we did high school. It's really going to be tough in the second half for both of these teams because that's when the fatigue gets to you and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And you really got to stay active and got to rotate a lot of guys in. So it usually comes down to the second half who has a deeper depth, but we'll see.
Again, it's going to be interesting to see how this comes out because Towson they've had some success getting down the field, throwing the football, mixing in the run. Just guys have to keep their composure and make sure that health is wealth in these scenarios.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned keeping their composure. They've had 9 penalties today for 49 yards compared to the Bearcats only 2. And those were timely penalties. I mean,
They were
big plays, and they're backing them up because it's self-inflicted wounds.
We are 3rd and 2. 2 running backs on both sides for Davis. Davis pulls it. Davis trying to get there, but he is swarmed. Mekhi Miller with a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 4th down.
And guess who's helping on that play, too? The man himself, Kai Stokes.
Kai Stokes getting his chance and making the most with it. It'll be 4th down. Towson will send on the punt unit.
Now, this is a very interesting scenario to me personally. They're at the 33-yard line, down by 15. You're going to give the ball back to the Bearcats. Do you potentially run a fake? Like Kai Stokes is kind of the middleman right there to eye it out.
Here, the snap and the kick. Spiraling down to about the 20, fair caught by Michael Masseri. They'll mark him at the 19. The Bearcats will set up shop and will have to travel 81 yards down the field to try to make this a 3-score game.
I mean, we see him do it so many times. I mean, looking at their scoring drives, right? 75 yards, 65 yards, 75 yards, 63, 64. I mean, their drives, they've been long yardage drives. Let's see if they can do it again.
And looking at it, I mean, 7 plays, 4 plays, 3 plays, 5 plays, 1 play, all those were touchdowns. They're on offense here, 1st and 10 in the spread. Manny Covey, the running back to the right. Here's Sorsby in the gun, dropped back, throws it, and it's caught by Xavier Henderson, and he is tackled immediately by number 8, Shafiq Smith.
Looking at the Bearcats receivers, everyone is contributing. You got Royer contributing, Henderson, 86 yards, Burkhalter, 70, Aaron Turner, nearly 50 yards. There are a lot of targets out there for the Bearcats, and you really haven't seen Jamoy Mays or Tony Johnson, Tyron Smith.
Spreading the love, what Sorsby's doing here. Hands it off to Manny Covey, and Covey had a good burst into the hole. Gets the first down, picks up around 5 on the play. Cincinnati will keep the tempo going. 2 receivers up top. Manny Covey to the right of Brendan Sorsby. Quick snap. Sorsby play fake. Looking. Pump fakes. Scanning the field. Gets out to his left. Has a man over the middle of the field. It's caught by Aaron Turner. And Aaron Turner on the plus side of the field. Down to the 48-yard line. First down. Points in that direction. And the Bearcats are in business.
So it took a while for that play to develop. I think he wanted to hit Henderson along the sideline, but he was double teamed. Waited, got out the pocket, and he saw Turner wide open in the middle of the field. Even I was pointing at him. I'm like, hey, he's open. And he found him. It's a big gain.
On the same telepathic levels are you, Chris and Brendan. All right, here we go. Give to Covey. Covey bounces to the left side, makes a man miss, makes 2 miss, and falls down about the 44-yard line. He's tackled low by Shafiq Smith.
Yeah, and the Bearcats right there. Manny Covey. Kind of want to see him go north-south on that play. It's a lot of east-west running, making a lot of cuts to go outside. Got a big gain, though, of around 5 yards.
Cats get up quick here. Throw quick to Xavier Henderson, and Henderson gets about 7 yards, and the sticks will move.
Bearcats playing with tempo.
Covey checks out. In comes Chance Williams.
I think right here, you're about 37 yards away from the end zone. I think potentially right here you could take a shot.
Burkhalter is the lone receiver to Sorsby's left. Up top is Aaron Turner in the slot and Tony Johnson on the far end. Motion from Royer from right to left to give the Chance Williams to the left. Chance has a chance and gets about 7.
I'll say it again. I think right here now you want to take a shot. It's 2nd and short. You get the 30-yard line. You can't convert it. Well, you end up with a 3rd and short, which is very manageable for the Cats.
Keep egging them on, don't we? We want the shot play. We've seen it before. It's worked. And again, we've seen it a couple times in this situation, like you mentioned, Chris.
Looking at the personnel, you got Pryor in the backfield and Francis Sherman in the fullback. So, signaling run maybe?
2 receivers up top for Sorsby on his right. 1 down to his left, play action. Here's Sorsby, lots of time, goes to his right, throws, and it's caught by Jamoy Mays. Mays has enough for a first down. It'll be his 2nd catch of the day.
Right there, Sorsby, great awareness in the pocket. He had plenty of time to throw the football, and he's taking his time. He's patient. He's making his progressions, and a nice throw on the run to the far side to Jamoy Mays. That's a very difficult throw. It's not easy. It's very difficult, and he did a great job.
It's that difference in not wanting to lob it over there or not wanting to put too much zip on it. The first down and 10 for the Bearcats. Ball at the 24. Reverse. Barry Jackson has a block, and he gets cut down. Number 7, Cam Snell gets him. Jackson gains about 5 on the play, but an injured Tiger down on the field.
Man, Towson has been banged up with injuries so far in this match. They've really had a lot.
Trying to get a number on that. But yes, they've had a lot of guys go down. It looks to be like cramps. Some guys have walked off the field and everything else with some undisclosed injuries. But again, it's a hot day, and the fluids are necessary.
Yeah, they really gotta stay hydrated, get the electrolytes, a few snacks in, a little bit of protein. But I mean, the cramp monster. I mean, you can't really beat it. It's an unfortunate thing.
And the interesting thing about this game is the 2:30 start time. You think about you're reaching an interesting point with the sun, possibly.
Yeah, usually around 2, 3 o'clock in this time of the season. Sunset's around 8 o'clock. 2, 3 is when you're gonna have, the peak of the high. It's gonna be hot. It's around 2, 3 o'clock, and as you mentioned, right at a 2:30 start. It's a very unique start time. I know with you play schools in Texas. They're gonna give you that early start. Kind of to avoid the heat. You're gonna get it eventually, but kind of just that few degree difference. Really, it's impactful.
It definitely is. There's a difference between guys going down with cramps and stopping play and making this game even longer than what it would be in early October.
Yeah.
That was Alfred Thomas that was down on the field, the 6'1", 225-pound freshman from Orlando, Florida. Got up and walked down the field, walked off to the sideline.
I was imagining it's 5:07 right now. I mean, the game started at 2:30. It's the third quarter, man.
We've reached that 5 o'clock shadow personified.
We really have. Hey, but football's back though. I mean,
It's back. You're not going to hear any complaints out of me.
no, we're not. I mean, we both love football. It's once the season, eh?
It's that last weekend in August, first weekend of September. We're getting there. It's like Christmas morning and Christmas Day right now.
Don't we have NFL this week too?
In 5 days.
Used to pray for times like this.
Ravens Chiefs, great opener. And we look at some of the games that will start later on in the Big 12 tonight. We've got Tarleton State and Baylor. Utah, University of Tennessee Martin. Utah played on Thursday. University of Tennessee Martin plays Kansas State. UNLV plays Houston. All of those games at 7 o'clock. Abilene Christian at Texas Tech at 7:30. Southern Illinois at BYU at 8 p.m. Then at 9:30 p.m., 2 games, 10:30 p.m., excuse me. New Mexico at number 21 Arizona, newly welcomed into conference Arizona, and then Wyoming at Arizona State, 10:30 p.m.
I like good matchups. I mean, the Big 12, it's a very, very deep conference. I mean, there's a lot of talent, not only in the football aspect, but also the basketball aspect too.
That's going to be another fun season to call.
Gotta get through one season at a time now.
Indeed we do. Finish this game out. Sorsby dropping back, looking, airs it out for Royer, but a bit too far. It'll be incomplete. We'll bring up third down for the Cats.
The Bearcats O-line, they've done a really great job giving Sorsby time to throw in the pocket and make the proper reads throughout the defense. And it's shown off today. He's done really, really great. 4 touchdowns on the day.
The Cats are 4 for 6 on third down. Evan Pryor into the game. The left hip of Sorsby is where he's at. 3 receivers to Sorsby's left. Motion across is Tyron Smith. Sorsby looking, throws, and it's incomplete. A lot of aggressive play by both eights, Henderson and Smith. And the Bearcats will send on their kicking unit.
Yeah, the Bearcats, I mean, they wanted 7 points in that drive, but if you end up with 3, it's not the worst thing.
36-yard gain.
Carter Brown on to attempt this kick. He's 0 for 1 today, missed from 31. Kick is up. It's true and it's good. Brown makes this an 18-point game. It's 38-20 with 4:38 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a breather here on Bearcast Sports Radio.
Have you ever been in the weeds dealing with customers at your retail job?
The Karens,
The wild cards,
the regulars.
the arguers.
And sometimes you just want to say,
Okay, great, bye.
well, don't forget.
A customer is always right.
Listen to In the Weeds anywhere you get your podcasts and youtube.com/BearcastMedia.
Let's meet.
All right, we're back. Bearcast Sports Radio. Like they said, check out In the Weeds podcast.
Gotta listen to it. Really gotta listen to it. Great podcast.
Good stuff in the food industry.
Oh yeah, always. I mean, and Cincinnati is such a diverse place too. There's a lot of good food places out there.
A lot of good food places right around campus, on campus, in the city, up north.
But in tragic news, we did receive word that Panda Express is out of TVC. A big loss for
We're
the
going to have to
community.
mourn that one. Kick from Nathan Hawks. Down the field. It's going to be a touchback. I got to find the closest Panda Express after this game and get it to.
Dude, I don't know if
Soften
there
the
even
wounds.
is one, to
I
be
know,
honest.
it's-
I don't know if there's even.
They put one back in my hometown, and I leave, and they put one there. I'm like, oh man, it's like building schools. You ever see when you leave high school, and then 2 years later they build a new school?
What are they?
It seems like every person in existence ever it happens to at some point in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, wow, I wish I was there when I was there.
Living in the past. Here, 1st and 10. Carlos Davis. Tigers are in the spread. Gives it off to Matthews. Matthews with some room. Torpedoes his way and gets about 7 yards. A good run to start the drive.
A good run. I mean, Towson Tigers, they've gotten a lot of yardage on first downs this game, and it's setting them up in great position for second downs.
Ahead of the sticks, gives it back to Matthews. Matthews sifting his way through. Gets just enough to pick up the first down.
I think Towson, they've done a great job responding to the Bearcats. Under a lot of pressure, FCS versus FBS, 32-point underdogs. They've done a pretty good job. I don't think the score really reflects on how they played.
Since spotting the Bearcats an 18-point lead, it's been an even 17-17 since. First down and 10, trips to the left, one receiver to the right, draw play given to Matthews. Matthews trying to hurdle again. That's going to hurt.
I did not know we were in the WWE today. Wow. A lot of big plays, a lot of hard-hitting plays, too. Right.
Talk about-
Delayed handoff right there.
Talk about the WWE, and there's a lot of former track stars on here. I didn't read anything about guys doing hurdles, but I guess that's the case.
I mean, Gatler Stadium is pretty much adjacent to Nippert Stadium. I'm sure a lot of people go there and, run the hurdles. The Olympics just happened, too, so.
That is true. We got a good view of Gettler's track over there. 2 running backs into the game. Matthews and Watkins. Here, this throw out into the flat. It's Christopher Watkins. Watkins gets around the edge, but gets about 2 yards on that.
Yeah, great job at the Bearcat secondary on tracking him down. It looks like he's shaking up on that play. Out of bounds, Chris Watkins.
Here it'll be 3rd down and about 4 from the 42 of Towson. The Tigers will start the sub. We got personnel in the game. DK James is to the right of Carlos Davis, who's getting the play from the sideline. John Dunmore to his left, and Londono in the slot, but a timeout called by the Tigers.
Yeah, decision here. About 3rd and 5, 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. They need the right play call here to extend the drive. I mean, kind of the same spot as they were in the previous drive. It's not 4-down territory, in my opinion. I think you're still too shallow on your own side of the field, but hey, teams are aggressive.
They definitely are. And looking at this situation with there being 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, you're down 3 scores. You need to find the right play call.
Yeah, and for Towson, it's whether it's going deep into the bag of tricks or using your old reliable play call. I think they found a lot of success when they have two running backs in the backfield because it creates a lot of different things. They can hand off each way, keep it, or even delayed handoff and throw it. And I mean, they've had a lot of plays in that formation, but they're going to go in the empty backfield.
It's 3rd down and 5. A lot of things to do here. Trips and a bunch set down to the right. Green goes back in motion. Here's the throw, and it's going to bounce, hit the ground. It's incomplete, intended for Lucas Londano.
So I thought he had Tyrell Green Jr. open right in the flat. He came in the backfield in motion. He was sent right back out, and there really wasn't a Bearcat within around 5-10 yards of him. I think if he looked that way and got a quick throw, they could have easily gotten a first down.
Missed opportunity there for Towson. They'll have to punt. Down 18 with 2:11 to go in this game. Will be LaFollette punting it away, standing at his own 27-yard line. Back deep to return will be Michael Masseri at his own 9. There's the snap, the kick away, making Masseri move up, and he fair catches it at the 20-yard line.
He's done a great job so far after the first drop in the first quarter. He's done a really good job, and he's definitely got his confidence back up. We talked about earlier. You got a guy like Harry Coombs as your coach. He's definitely a player's favorite. I know a lot of players really like him, and having that coaching figure right by you can really make things easier and lighter.
Coombs, a very fiery individual, but definitely loves and cares about his players.
Of course.
Bearcat offense comes onto the field. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here's Sorsby in the gun. Miscommunication here, and Sorsby will run it out to his left, and he'll barely get a yard on that.
Mention it, miscommunication. It looks like the running back and Sorsby just not on the same page right there.
Looks like they're giving Victor Dawson a chance. Again, the Cats going deep into the bag of running backs. 2 receivers to Sorsby's right, 1 down to his left, and a wing to the left. Play fake, rolls out, throws, and it's caught by Sherman. Sherman, lots of room, gets the first down up to the 35-yard line. The sticks will move in favor of Cincinnati.
Yeah, it looks like they may have went with the second team overall on the offensive end, just keeping Sorsby in.
They do have Jamoy Mays in, as well as Aaron Turner.
And on the line, Jonathan Harder. He's listed as the backup left guard today and a few other line pieces, but looks like they're mixing up second team, a little mix of first and second team.
Doing some of that continuity just in case. Play fake for Sorsby. Steps to his left. Throws and is incomplete. And he's hit really hard on that play by Deion Cruz Harris.
Yeah, Cruz Harris, preseason honorable mention in the conference. He was 3rd on the team last year with 5 sacks. He helped head the way on a great D line for the Towson Tigers, and he does a great job of getting the backfield and forcing the quarterback to scramble.
A team that has gotten 0 sacks today on Sorsby. Sorsby has bought time and had a lot of clean pockets.
And also deals with his ability to skip the pocket. He's very, very effective with that.
Indeed, he is. 2nd down, given off to the back, and gets about 7 on the play. Victor Dawson with it. Gets to the 41-yard line, setting up a 3rd and short.
Be interesting to see if the Bearcats go for it right here. They will call another play before the quarter ends.
About 20 seconds left in the quarter. They don't have to call a play if they do not choose to. They line up in the spread. Dawson directly behind Sorsby, and he'll let this thing run out.
This is the end of
And some of the players on the sidelines throw up the fours. It's time for the fourth quarter.
Best quarter in football.
We'll be back with the best quarter of football in a moment.
Have you ever been in the weeds dealing with customers at your retail job?
The Karens,
The wild cards,
the regulars.
the arguers.
And sometimes you just want to say,
Okay, great. Bye.
well, don't forget.
A customer is always right.
Listen to In the Weeds anywhere you get your podcasts and youtube.com/bearcastmedia.
Let's meet the Meatball Man.
I'm a student at the University of Cincinnati. I want to be a broadcaster. Where should I go?
You should go to Bearcast Media.
What's that?
Well, it's a student media organization that offers a lot of opportunities if you want to do video, radio, audio, all of that good stuff, including sports broadcasting.
No way! You're lying!
I'm not lying to you. You can go to the first meeting on Thursday, September the 5th at the Rec Center classrooms, room 3240.
So you're telling me I can join this club and get opportunities to broadcast and do a whole bunch of other things while meeting a whole bunch of great people and free pizza?
Of course you can. We're open to anybody. Join Bearcast Media when you can. That's right now.
I will see you Thursday in the meeting.
Back here on Bearcast Sports Radio, the start of the fourth quarter, the best quarter in football, they say. It's 3rd down and 3 at the 41 of their own. Here's the give. And stuffed it. Actually, he bounces off a tackler. Oh, what a run. And just maneuvering down the sideline. But the ball comes out. Oh, my goodness. It was such a great run by Victor Dawson. Bounced off a defender. Gets so many yards after contact, but coughs it up. And Towson has another chance.
That one, if he would have kept it, could have put the game out of reach, but very, very unfortunate on what happened. It's a great run, but just a fumble. It hurts.
The peanut punch by Daniel Raymond, the redshirt senior from Fort Washington, Maryland. One of a few starters from last year's defense that started in every single game. Ran him down and made the freshman pay. Towson has it at their own 12-yard line. Will be first down and 10. Davis in the gun. Davis the clap. Gives it off to Green. Green musters up the strength to get about 4.
And talking about fumbles, the Bearcats have had 3 fumbles. They've lost 2 of them so far. That's definitely going to be a talking point and a focal point of practice this week.
Had a muff punt, bad snap, and that critical fumble right there. A second down and about 6. Here's Davis, play fake, looking. Has a lot of time, bounces out to his right and throws, and it's caught. And a big hit. Wow.
It's like Jonathan Thompson.
DK James with the catch. It's good enough for a first down, but he'll be feeling that one after the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a big hit right there.
Towson trying to get this offense moving. They have 367 yards of total offense and looking for more. It's first and 10. 2 receivers on both ends of the field. Here's Davis out in the flat. It's caught. That's Green. Green finds enough green grass and gets around 7. Make that 8 yards.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see the Towson defense in this drive and throughout the rest of the fourth quarter. If they can score right here and cut the deficit down to 11, I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting. If you're Coach Satterfield, do you keep the starters out there? Decisions you're going to have to make if they do end up scoring on this drive.
Towson trying to keep this game alive as long as they can. Trips to the right. And here's the give. Lots of space. Nice run by Tyrell Green. And there's no whistle. And the ball's out. And it gets popped out again. But it's recovered by Towson. Unbelievable. There was a run right there by Tyrell Green. Got about 10 to 15 yards on it. The ball pops out. And then it's recovered by the Bearcats. And then it looked like that was number 24, Darian Varner, who was running with it. The ball gets popped out after he goes about 7 or 8 yards, and Towson recovers it.
I really enjoyed the official explaining what just happened.
I'm at a loss for words right now.
I think it's one of those crazy sequences. It's like, what even, like, great job, first of all, but, like, what do you even do with that? Like, I don't even know. I mean,
you see a nice run, and then the ball's on the turf. There's no whistle. And then the ball's on the turf again, and there's no whistle again. Hey, football's back. That's all I got to say.
So does that count as a fumble towards Cincinnati? It should, right? A fumble loss?
I would really like to see what the official play is going to be. And both fumbles are going to be under review. Yes, both fumbles will be under review.
Hey, to be fair, first review of the game, all right?
That's true. We did make it this far. There's probably some times in the game where maybe there could have been some, but again, we're pretty high up. So
Yeah. I mean, it was a very, very unique play right there, but we love to see a replay right here. I mean,
we're poking over into the ESPN Plus broadcast booth to see what is being seen. I think the first thing's going to be, was the ball fumbled initially by Tyrell Green? Because that second fumble, it looked like a fumble.
And that second fumble can't happen unless the first one has a determined outcome.
Exactly.
So I think all eyes are going to be on that first fumble. Just looking at the camera angles from the view we have, it's really tough because there's so many bodies around the player. There's so many bodies around Tyrell Green, and it's really hard to tell. But I think what they might be looking at, if Towson, when they recovered it, was the player out of bounds?
That would be the big thing because it was pretty far to the sideline. And we'll see. So the player was not out of bounds. The
So
answer
everything I
is-
said, you can wipe it off the map.
that question was answered pretty quickly. But still, I like the suspense, Chris.
Of course.
You
You know,
have to.
I try my best to provide good color to our viewers who are tuning in for the season opener, you know. After a long 24 hours that we've had.
Hey, reversing roles at this rate.
I had the game yesterday. You had the game today. I mean, both so far are great games.
Hey, I can't complain either way. That
Can't.
Battle of I-74 was unbelievable.
Definitely, I consider it a classic. I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
it was even Steven.
It definitely was. The fact that Towns is making this an interesting game is brings some more energy back after a long-winded game yesterday.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, and it's you look at the first quarter. Bearcats were up 21-3. They were unstoppable on the offensive end.
Yeah.
If you were to tell me, hey, this game would be a one-possession game in the third quarter, I would think you were a liar. I mean,
Not much more to say.
the fans that are here are staying loyal and faithful,
They are.
especially in this weather. I gotta give kudos.
Oh, yeah. Very humid out here. It's first down and 10. Here's the give. Watkins with it. Gets around to the outside. Will gain 4 up to the 40-yard line. Trying to stay above the sticks. Out in front of them. Be second down at about 6.
What I really like about Towson, 3 different running backs are using, each of them with at least 53 yards rushing.
The balanced attack has been very efficient. We are approaching the 12-minute mark to go in the ball game. Carlos Davis is in the gun. Christopher Watkins is to his right. Carter Runyon to his left. 2 receivers at the bottom and 1 up top. Here the give to Watkins. Trying to maneuver his way and gets tackled at the 42-yard line. Gain of 2. And it'll bring up a third down.
Let's see what they go with here. They've been really on the run game a lot so far in the second half. Averaging around 5 yards per carry.
34 attempts, 181 yards today. Personnel change for the Tigers. 4 receivers, 2 on the left and 2 to the right of Davis.
So very interesting situation.
The delay of game is called. They're trying to look and see if maybe they wanted to get the clock reset, but
I think it was substitution. Since Towson substituted, they took off Runyon. They have to give the Bearcats an opportunity to sub.
Towson took the time. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at that rule, that's what it looked like it was. It's kind of, if it's to your advantage, you love it. If it's against you, you hate it. It's one of those rules. And it's simple as that. You know, you have to let the defense substitute. And they can, let the official talk. They can take their time substituting, but they can't slack it. You know, they need to show some hustle, but they don't have to sprint out there. They can, might jog out there, and that's what Thomas was upset about. Well, you substituted, you let Cincinnati substitute.
That's the way it goes. I mean, it's been interesting how they've changed the substitution rules over the last couple of years and such, giving teams time to match them, which I think is the ultimately right thing to do. I mean, there's teams that go, a million miles an hour, can't get any subbing, all that stuff, but, you know, tried to find the secret to the sauce.
Yeah, and it all comes down to balance. If you're a team that loves substitute and go quick, make it tough on the defense to get new, fresh legs in, do like that. But there's a lot of different strategies you can use with subbing, and Towson just tried to go one way and kind of backfired on them a little bit.
It did. Now they had to burn another timeout, only 1 remaining. 11:02 to go in the game, being 3rd down and 4. What do you think they cook up here, Chris?
Well, down by 18. I've said it 3 times already. I think you're still too shallow in your own territory for 4-down territory. But I mean, you're getting to that point in the game, you might have to go for it. And the run game it's been pretty good. It's been really good for Towson. I mean, I think right here to answer your question, I wouldn't be surprised if they run it right here. Kind of run it, get it closer, step 4th and short, 4th down. But if they were to pass it, they've done a lot of quick stuff. Look at tight end Carter Runyon, receiver Lucas O'Dono. They don't really have much hype. Yeah, John Dunmore, but I would expect a run here, trying to make it a more manageable 4th and short.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we've gotten to that point in the game where it's 4-down territory. You've got to, put all your eggs in one basket and say, hey, we got to go out swinging. This 3rd down and 4 at the 42. 3 receivers to Carlos Davis is left. And 1 to his right. That'll be DK James. Christopher Watkins will be on his left hip. Davis's left hip, that is. Here, a motion out is Christopher Watkins to the right. Empty backfield. Here's Davis. He'll look and he'll throw. And it's caught by DK James, who breaks a couple tackles and gets across the 50-yard line to the 49 of Cincinnati. 1st down, Tigers.
So mention it, instead of running, they're going to pass the ball and look for something short. Exactly what they did. A quick little curl route to DK James. He gets the 1st down. Towson still in business here.
The Tigers getting their offense set up in the same formation. Watkins to the right of Carlos Davis. Davis, 227 yards and 2 touchdowns today. 16 of 29 throwing. Watkins flexed out into the slot to Davis's right. Empty backfield for Davis. Here's the snap. Davis, lots of time, gets out to his right, throws, and a great defensive play coming back. That was Josh Minkins with the pass deflection intended for Christopher Watkins.
And Carlos Davis didn't really have a choice. He was scrambling right, and the wide receiver tried to come back in time, but it's a great play by Josh Minkins coverage.
Here it'll be 2nd down and 10. Tigers switching up the formation. Carter Runyon goes from left to right. 2 receivers to Davis's right, 2 receivers down to his left. Here's the snap. Gives it off and stopped in the backfield. Devin Matthews loses 2.
That was a great play right there by Cam Rutherford, the DN, making a huge play to force a 3rd down for the Tigers. And this is more a pass situation right here. You got to go beyond the sticks.
3rd and 12 from their own 49-yard line. Tigers have 2 receivers to Davis's left, 2 receivers up to his right. Devin Matthews on the left hip of Davis. Davis, 3-step drop, steps up in the pocket, throws out, and it's well short. Intended for Jason Doss. That'll bring up 4th down.
Well short. I mean, that was well short. But it's a tough throw. He's throwing across his body to the left side of the field. That's a hard throw to make.
The Tigers offense will go off the field, and it will kick this thing away.
Interesting choice. I mean, you think it's 4-down territory, down by 18, but I mean, if you're going to punt this one away, it kind of looks like a move of you want to get back to Maryland and kind of call it a week and move on.
They have Morgan State next week. It's a big-time rivalry game for them early in the season. Punted away by Lafayette, and it's caught, but muffed again by Masseri. He's able to hop on it at the Bearcat 14-yard line, escape the scare from there, and Cincinnati will set up shop at the 14 of their own.
Definitely a scare. I mean, that could have been a huge play. It could have benefited the Tigers.
Be interesting to see if they re-advise the situation with Masseri Maseri going forward. I know, again, redshirt freshman, 2 muff punts. First game, though. I'm interested to see what the balance is on that. We're going to take a short break here on Bearcast Sports Radio. 9:20 to go in the fourth quarter.
Have you ever been in the weeds dealing with customers at your retail job?
The Karens,
The wild cards,
the regulars.
the arguers.
And sometimes you just want to say,
Okay, great. Bye.
well, don't forget.
A customer is always right.
Listen to In the Weeds anywhere you get your podcasts and youtube.com/bearcastmedia.
Let's meet the Meatball Man.
We're back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Cranking that Soldier Boy here at the stadium.
Man, what a time it was in 2007.
I was 4.
I was 3.
Oh, voice crack here. 1st and 10. Sorsby in the gun. Gives it off. Chance Williams. Chance Williams, a lot of room. Tries to break through and gets about 7.
Yeah, the Bearcats have rotated a lot of guys in the running back position. They've had 8 different rushers. But looking at the running backs, they've had around 4 or 5 running backs in, and now it's Chance Williams getting the reps.
4 or 5 running backs in. They've ran 8 different people for 207 yards now.
Now that's Bearcat football.
The way we know it. The motion across. Here's Brendan Sorsby. Gives it off again to Chance Williams. Chance Williams, he had a huge hole, but was shoestring tackled, only gained about 2 on the play.
Look, with Chance Williams, back-to-back runs. He's had the holes and gaps. He's gaining good yards. I'm feeling if he stays up for one more second, he can break one of these and go the distance.
Quick tempo for the Bearcats on 3rd and 1. And a tush-push attempt
I don't think he got it.
is foiled. It was Devin Zahersky that was right behind Brendan Sorsby. And the Cats are short. And it looks like they're going to bring the punt unit on.
Here's my philosophy. If you can't get 1 yard, that's a very, very poor thing. But you're deep in your own territory. It would be a very gutsy call to go for it. But it's so intriguing because it's only 1 yard. I think
That's true.
they can definitely get it, but playing safe, I totally understand.
A very interesting thing is the Bearcats have 2 number 11s on the field right now.
Cincinnati.
How did you notice that?
Joe Royer was out there, and then they decided to run out Jake Golday. But it's actually interesting to look at who's all on the field for the special teams. Corey Kiner and Xavier Henderson, Aaron Turner. All of those guys are out there on a punt.
Yeah, that's very interesting to note. I mean, got quite a few starters out there in the special teams unit. I'm not really sure the philosophy behind it or the reasoning, but it's definitely very interesting to see.
Chance Williams out there as well. Jonathan Thompson. Jack Dingle? I mean,
All right, it's gonna be Jared Bartlett. The thing with college that's confusing is that you can use a number twice, but still,
that is
Bartlett
true.
is a starter though. He's outside linebacker.
The Cats used the number twice on the same play. That's probably maybe one of the reasons they want to call a timeout there, but there are a lot of starters on the field in this special teams formation. Here the snap for Fletcher, and he'll boot it away. Nice looking punt, making Dunmore run back for it, and he had to catch it like a normal pass. Dunmore trying to get through, and he's tackled by the long snapper, Jaden Perry. Made the excursion down the field. He made John Dunmore feel it.
Excursion, he ran like 60 yards. I think that's a pretty long excursion, but yeah, he made the play. Great tackle. Deep in Towson territory.
Now here it's 7:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Need to start taking shots right now, Towson.
Yeah, definitely. The focus has to be getting the ball downfield as quickly as possible. You're down by 18, 7 minutes left to go. As you just mentioned, you have to get the ball downfield as quick as possible.
It will be first down and 10 from their own 22-yard line. Davis in the gun. He gives it off to Matthews. Matthews bounces it outside, gets through a couple defenders, and picks up around 12 on the play, moving the sticks.
And I think the focal point of this week in practice for the Bearcats as well, it's going to be the run game. I mean, the run defense needs to improve. Towson, 419 total yards, 227 of those coming in the air.
They've stayed true to that balanced attack. First and 10, Carlos Davis in the gun. Gives it off again to Matthews and stuffed pretty well. Gets only about a yard up the middle.
So this is where it gets interesting. Looking at the recent play calls, I don't necessarily think Towson is trying to win this game with urgency. The back-to-back run plays, 6:20 left. I think they're just kind of experimenting, seeing how things can go. I'm sure they're definitely pleased with their performance, but I don't think they're trying to go for the win.
Again,
just by the play calling.
Again, this is a good time to see what the experience can do against a Big 12 team. Davis in the pocket, throws out to the left to Carter Runyon. A great tackle right there. That was
Monty Whedon.
Thank you. Of course. Getting some of the second team guys in for the Bearcats.
True freshman right there.
Bearcats with some substitutions. Same with the Tigers. It will be third down and 8 at the 36-yard line of the Tigers. Trips to the right. Devin Matthews on the right hip of Carlos Davis. Receiver down to his left. Davis in the gun. 3 down defensive linemen. Takes the snap. 5-step drop. Gets out to his right. Trying to evade. Throws on the run. And it's caught. A great catch on the sideline and knocked out of bounds hard. It looked like by Logan Wilson, but a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate, but
Personal foul. Roughing the Prince. Number 17. Dick Paris. 10-yard penalty.
thank you to our referee for joining us in the booth. But
In sync.
yeah, in sync. He took the words right out of my mouth.
Well played.
It's pretty obvious when you see defender on top of a quarterback and there's a flag in the backfield. I mean, there's only one really indication that could be.
That'll give the Tigers even more room to work with here. I mean, first down and 10 at the Cats' 36-yard line as we creep under 5 minutes to go in this ballgame. Two receivers to the right of Davis and two down to his left. Christopher Watkins on the right hip. Here's a shotgun snap. Three-step drop. Davis looking around, throws out into the flat, caught by Watkins on the right. Toward the Townsend sideline and loses about 2 yards.
There's a lot he can do. I mean, Davis made a lot of progressions down the field, but this defense for the Cats, it's been kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, the secondary's been playing pretty good, but there's also moments which they get a big yardage play. And, you know, it's only week one. It's a lot to learn, a lot to adjust, but just not the performance you really were expecting if you're a Cats fan.
They got to get ready for that big game against Pittsburgh next Saturday. That'll be a noon kick. You can catch it here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Here is Carlos Davis on the drop back. Throws across the middle. Caught by Jason Das. And Das loses a yard on that. I'll bring up another third down for Townsend.
Let's see if they go with right here. They got to go beyond the sticks. But 3:40 left to go. It's not really. It's not a sense of urgency. You know, they just want to, try to get out of Cincinnati.
Them getting a touchdown on this drive would be a huge win. To lose the game by possibly 10 points as an FCS school on the road.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they've got to be very happy with the performance.
Carlos Davis in the gun, three receivers to his right, one down to his left. In the pocket, gets out, rolls out to his right. Looking, evading a lot of defenders, throws right over the top, and it's caught by John Dunmore. Dunmore rides the wave of defenders out at around the 32-yard line toward the Townsend sideline. It'll be fourth down and about, we'll call it 7.
So you mentioned the performance. I mean, Towson, they've been about a middle-ish pack of the team in the CAA. They finished, I believe, 9th last year, or they're projected to be 9th this season.
Yep.
But still, an overall good performance, and this would go a long way for the team, not only with their confidence, but they're going to have a lot of poise going to the next matchup.
They definitely will. That next matchup is against Morgan State. That'll be a home game, their home opener, next Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. And then they will go to Villanova on Saturday, September 14th at 3:30 p.m. The Cats will be back here next Saturday against Pittsburgh at noon. And then the following Saturday, they'll try to get their revenge at Miami, Ohio, a noon game on September the 14th.
Very interesting stretch for the Bearcats. I mean, you got the River City rivalry, then you Becker rivals Miami, Ohio, then you kick off Big 12 play. There's going to be a lot to unpack in these next upcoming few weeks, especially after today's performance versus Towson.
Again, I think the way you put it, just on defense, very inconsistent. There have been some really good things. There have been some really bad things. It's the first game under Tyson Veit. They'll try to work out some of those kinks and try to make them a stronger unit. It is fourth down. There's a bunch set to Davis's left, one receiver up to his right. Davis will drop back, looking for a player down the field. He looks, and there's absolutely nobody. Incomplete pass, turnover on downs. Cincinnati will take over.
Great job right there by Bearcats defense, playing great defense against the receivers and not allowing any receivers to get open down the field. And you're forcing them out the pocket, forcing them to make a tough throw on the run. And, I think we say that should do it.
That should. 2.5 minutes to go in this one, 2:37 to be exact. The Bearcats will send in Brady Lichtenberg. What do you call him, Chris?
Lieutenant Lichtenberg.
A 6'1", 200-pound redshirt junior from Toledo, Ohio. He was in a quarterback battle with Brendan Sorsby this offseason. Last year, completed 55% of his passes, threw for about 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Gives it off to Evan Pryor. Pryor gets around 4 on the play to the left side.
Yeah, you look at the quarterback battle between him and Brendan Sorsby. Sorsby had to say, I think him and Brady did a good job of keeping the competition separate from their friendship, not letting it affect them, but just going out there and supporting each other. They think it's huge for both of them to not let the competition get in the way between them, but rather help each other out. They watch film together. They break down things together, and they overall want to make each other better.
Again, that's the thing. A quarterback group has to be tight, open to criticism, but at the same time be very supportive of each other. We've hit a 2-minute timeout.
What's the other word for it?
I'm not going to say it.
Roger Goodell's gonna be on the phone.
I don't
with,
want the
Bearcast?
door to knock when we're still sitting here and we have to answer some questions. Don't want that to happen.
The SUVs are coming.
Oh, boy.
But I mean, just looking at the Bearcats, though, I mean, offensively, great performance. Great performance. I mean, Sorsby threw for nearly 400 yards in his debut, 4 total touchdowns. And you also kept your main identity with the running game. 220 rushing yards, averaging around 8 yards per carry. 3 of them on the ground. And it's, like we said, it's just been defensively.
Sorsby, 22 for 31, 383 yards and 2 touchdowns today, no picks, 71% completion percentage. He also has 2 touchdown runs on the ground, 5 attempts for only 5 yards, a long of 12. Math goes into that. And this Bearcat offense, 603 yards a day. You combine these two teams together at the moment, 1,041 yards of offense we've seen today.
It's definitely been a pleasure to our eyes. It's seen a great offensive showcase here in this football game. Some defensive gurus out there that love defense, but it's you trade one thing for another. It's been a very long game. It's been a very long day. It's been a very long weekend. I go on and on. It's been a very long week in general, starting class and everything. But I mean, this is what it's about, though. I mean, you get a great showcase of offense, but it does take up a lot of your time.
It definitely does, but at least there's more time going into this weekend now. The extra day off, Labor Day's on Monday. I have a lot of students go out and celebrate this victory tonight.
You just reminded me we have no school Monday.
I got
totally
reminded
forgot
yesterday.
about it. I totally forgot about it. See, what my parents always say is back in their day, school didn't start until Labor Day.
Yeah.
Now here we are.
Moved it up into having to go to school when it's feeling like 100 degrees outside.
I think that should be illegal, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason why I should be sweating while walking to class.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Big problem.
We all feel it. It's just, oh, man.
But I'm very, very pleased that, this is going to be a cooler week.
Finally hitting September, so the heat decides to turn down a little bit. So made it through the dog days of summer.
Oh, yeah. As summer goes, insert fall in the football season.
The last 2 minutes of this game, Lichtenberg gives it off to Pryor. Pryor to the left side once again, trying to fight for that extra yardage, and he'll be about a yard shy of the first down marker.
Stoppage here.
We'll see what that is. Some substitutions going on. Manny Covey coming in for Evan Pryor. Clock has stopped at 1:53. The officials telling the Cats to hold on one moment. And the Cats have a 10-second runoff.
Thank you, official, for joining us once again in the booth. Where would we be without officials in the game of football?
Exactly. Where would we be without this speaker up here? I mean,
I think it's probably the coolest part of this booth.
it really is.
It's really awesome. Feel professional.
Lichtenberg gives it off to Covey. Covey with space gets across the 50. Manny Covey at the 50. See Paul Logo moves the sticks as clock continues to burn. The Cats line up in the pistol formation. 2 receivers up to the left, 1 down to the right. It looks like Evan Prater has entered the game.
Another hometown kid right there.
Gives it to Covey. Covey finds a great deal of space, moves the sticks once again, and gets a first down as we break even with the minute mark.
Do apologize. I've just been looking and see if there's any game records I could say on here. Haven't really seen much, but
The numbers are high, we will say that.
oh yeah.
Contesting some records to say. Lichtenberg gives it off to Pryor. Pryor jump cut. Pryor off to the races. Pryor down the sideline, and Pryor inside the 10-yard line down to the 7.
First team goal, Bearcats.
Like he was going to try to walk off a touchdown with less than a minute to go and add to his total.
Okay. I do have something to say, guys.
Let's hear it.
Okay, with that, the Cincinnati Bearcats have a total of 660 total yards. It is the 9th most in a total game, but will they take a knee? Will they take a knee?
A shotgun knee, that is.
Where are they going to mark it?
Mm.
It's a loss of 2.
It's a loss of 2, and what does that do?
Okay, it puts them at 10th. They were at 8th. It puts them at 10th.
Okay, they're in the top 10 still.
so a good performance, 658 total yards, puts them 10th all-time program history, most yards in a single game.
1,096 yards between these two teams. The clock hitting 000, and that will do it. The Cincinnati Bearcats win the season opener 38-20 over the Towson Tigers.
At the end of the day, you're 1-0, and you can't hit on that. You know, it was at moments it was sloppy, right? They won their 23rd consecutive home opener, but there's going to be a lot of things to improve upon. You know, you didn't have Corleone, and that's going to be a huge factor to see if he'll be available leading up to Pittsburgh.
And with that, we're in the Bearcast Sports Radio postgame show. I would say a sponsor, we don't have any. But Brendan Sorsby, player of the game, question mark, Chris?
I think so, too. I think it's going to be him because we said it pregame. He's going to be a great ad for the Bearcats. He's going to be really fun to watch, and it really was a pleasure to see him play today. 22 for 31, 383 passing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 throwing touchdowns, no turnovers. I think he's my player of the game.
The run game, 275 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Leading the way in yards is Evan Pryor with 105.
Yeah, and looking at it, we said it's going to be very critical for Cincinnati to keep their balance in the offense. They got to stay who they are, and that's the rushing attack. Stay what they're known for. One of the best rushing teams in the country. At first, it looked bleak. It was, I want to say, around 200 passing yards to like 40 rushing yards. It was something crazy like that, but the Bearcats get 275 rushing yards. I mean, that is a huge plus.
Leading tacklers on defense, Joshua Minkins and Jared Bartlett, both having 6 tackles, as well as Antoine Peak Jr. A lot of guys for the Cats making plays on defense. What do they need to work on going forward?
I think it's going to be creating turnovers. That's really been an emphasis throughout the entire offseason, was creating turnovers. They had 8 interceptions last season. It's 13th in the conference. You know, if you're going to be in a great conference like the Big 12, you're going to have to create turnovers. And they really couldn't do that today. And it's going to be something that's going to be pivotal in their success throughout the season.
For Towson, again, nothing to really hang your hat on, losing by 18 to a Power 5 opponent on the road to start the season. Carlos Davis looked pretty good today.
He did. And just by last year, looking at him play and doing research, he can ball. He can ball out. His season was cut short due to injury, and that's just the unfortunate part of the game, but he can really play. I mean, 20 of 36, 231 for 2 throwing touchdowns. I mean, he played pretty good. It's just, you know, the score didn't indicate it. You know, you look at 20 points and you get the win. No, he played pretty good.
He did. The run game, 194 yards on the ground. Devin Matthews leading the way with 70 on 17 attempts. Tyrell Green, 8 for 60, and Christopher Watkins, 5 for 59. The Tigers going into the CAA have a pretty potent run attack to be happy about.
They do, and if your defense is looking at 3 different ball carriers to worry about, that's when you're going to start stressing. That's where the problems occur in prep. But, it shows the depth. They have 3 different guys to turn to if they need to, and it's led by Devin Matthews. It's only game number 1.
The Cats will be back next week when they take on the Pitt Panthers in the River City rivalry. That kickoff will be at noon. You can hear it here on Bearcast Sports Radio. That'll do it here from Nippert Stadium. For me, Chase Johns, my partner, Christian Pagan. We'll see you guys next time here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Have a great rest of your night.